See you later. I love you.
Proper conduct during the program. Kindly keep your camera and microphone off to preserve bandwidth integrity. Please be advised that the virtual event will be recorded. The virtual event is being live streamed in the Pan Pacific University Facebook page. Questions may be sent to our Zoom chat and in the comment section of our Facebook Live during Q&A session. Participants are encouraged to share their thoughts through the evaluation form. Thank you and please stand by. The Pan Pacific University Graduate School official program launch will begin momentarily. We would like to remind you of the virtual event guidelines. For our participants and viewers, kindly observe proper conduct during the program. Kindly keep your camera and microphone off to preserve bandwidth integrity. Please be advised that the virtual event will be recorded. The virtual event is being live streamed in the Pan Pacific University Facebook page. Questions may be sent to our Zoom chat and in the comment section of our Facebook Live during Q&A session. Participants are encouraged to share their thoughts through the evaluation form. Thank you and please stand by. The Pan
A pleasant morning, everyone. Naimbag na bigat, masantos ya kabwasan kada kayo amin, magayang aldaw, magandang araw po sa ating lahat. The Pan Pacific University Graduate School, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Management, welcomes all of you to this webinar on Walk the Talk, Translating Theories into Practice towards a future-proof school-based management. To formally start our program, let us invoke our divine assistance through a
All right, so I guess Ma'am Donna is having some difficulty in her internet connection. Okay, so formally begin our activity for this day, our webinar for this day. Let us begin with a prayer to be led by Ma'am Janine Ricomano, one of the PhD students.
Almighty God, our Father, we praise and thank you for this day. We come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered virtually. We pray for guidance with the matters at hand, and that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with the spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to achieve excellence. We ask that we challenge one another to reach higher and further to become the best of ourselves. We ask this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Again, good morning to each and every one of you, and welcome to this webinar on Walk the Talk, Translating Theories into Practice towards a Future-Proof School-Based Management. This endeavor was made possible through the great leadership of capable leaders. May we hear a welcome message from Sir Romel R. Bravo, PhD class leader.
Thank you, Ma'am Donna. to our Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Engelbert Pasag, to the Program Director of Executive Education, Pan Pacific University Graduate School, Dr. Carl Balita, to our Vice Chancellor Academics and our course professor, Dr. Virgo Lopez, and to all my classmates in the PhD, management and theory, and to all the participants, colleagues, and education champions, our guest speakers, good morning, everyone. So we would like to welcome and thank you for joining us today. We are very excited to have you here because we believe that this will be an opportunity for us to learn from each other and grow together. I want to thank also our caliber speakers for taking the time to share their knowledge and expertise that would really help us in the field of education. Our topics is very relevant and useful in the school leadership and management. And I'm sure that our speakers today are really excited to share what they know and provide us the future proof experiences they have. They will be actually discussing translating theories into practice towards a future proof school based management. And this will give us practical tips that we can actually use in our work, school, or our own institution we belong to. And we will also take some questions later throughout the webinar. So you are free to ask questions and type them in the chat box, or maybe say them verbally and with yourselves later. So I guess, all right. So I welcome everyone and let us enjoy the webinar today. And without further ado, let's start, Ma'am Donna. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sir Romel. Right now, we are also live streaming at Pan Pacific University official Facebook page. Sa mga participants and viewers po natin dyan, good morning. And right now, for our participants, we have around 50 schools participating from different parts of the country. Padayon po sa mga school heads and administrators, teachers, professors, mga participants coming from the following divisions: Pangasinan Division 2, Cavite, La Union, Makati, Palawan, Malabon City, Puerto Princesa, all the way from Mountain Province, Manila, Quezon City, and Aklan. And we also have participants abroad, all the way from Oman College of Health Sciences. Thank you for joining us for today, Sabah El Kahir. As of the moment, Dr. Carl Balita is not yet around, so we hope to hear from him a little later. So in lieu for his opening remarks.
Mandona, Dr. Balita is already
yes,
in. Dr. Balita is not in.
Sorry, sir. The Pan Pacific University is proud to have a multi-awarded media practitioner, entrepreneur, best-selling author, educator, and international speaker to be a part of its family. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Carl E. Balita, Director, Executive, Education Program, Graduate School. Sir?
Hi, good morning. Good morning to everyone, to all the men, women, and all genders behind this very nice activity we're having today. I'm very glad to be part of it. I'm broadcasting from Baguio. This is the beauty of technology. Where you are, I understand, as you enumerated, there are participants from different parts of the country. I already also shared this in my Facebook account, and I suppose a lot of people are actually watching and could be watching. I would like to commend you for talking about this very important topic of school-based management. And this is school-based management. Tanggalin nyo na lang yung slide so I can be seen more. I want to be seen more than the screen. Yeah. I'd like to say that it's very timely and appropriate. It's very opportune, all right, that we're talking about school-based management. But I would like to lead that conversation to the next level, which is actually leadership. Okay, you know, management is all about doing the thing right, but always remember that leadership is doing the right thing. So school should be able to walk on two legs. One is on leadership and one is on management. But I would admit that most of the time, really, the concentration of your work or of our tasks is on management, which is why this is very commendable. But what is even more commendable here is the challenge of translating theories into application, into practice. Because they say that practice without theory is like a map without a route. It's blind. But theory without practice is like route without maps. It's empty. You see, you don't want your school-based management to be blind without the theory in your practice. Neither do you want your theories to be empty, meaning not applicable or not applicable in real life setting. And I'd like to emphasize, before our resource persons, are very able resource persons today, I'd like to emphasize that theories are organized concepts and construct so that you're able to describe, explain, and predict a phenomenon. And there's so much phenomenon in the classroom. There's the phenomenon of growth and development, the phenomenon of teaching, the phenomenon of learning, the phenomenon of self-actualization, the phenomenon of personhood itself is something we need to understand using the lens of a theory. See, but the theory cannot stand alone. And which is why everything comes into place when you find yourself as a leader or as a manager of a school or of that classroom, where the complexity of human interaction, even between two people, becomes very complex among students themselves and with the teacher, and complicate it even more, add more complexity, because you understand that the school systems is not about the classroom. The school systems is about the classrooms, the teachers, the learners, and every stakeholders around it. And we always say that it takes a village to raise a child, and we really have to engage that village. And in school-based management, that village is not limited to the gate and fences and walls of the classrooms and of the campus, but it goes beyond. But what is even more complex in this scenario is that we are not educating our students for the present. We are actually educating them for the future. So we cannot find ourselves in the 19th century classroom headed by the 20th century teacher with the 21st century learners preparing themselves for the 21st century. How can that connect? How can it be connected, or how can it make sense when the 19th century classroom is what we're using as 20th century teacher to prepare our 21st century learners to the 21st century? Which is why, as we talk about theories, maybe we should elevate the conversation in a higher level, where evidence-based practice, the research-based, school-based management, school management should be anchored on. Let this conversation be a trigger to, number one, to your realization that complexities can be addressed by our wanting to clarify. When there is complexity, we should endeavor for clarity. When there is volatility, we should endeavor for vision. When there is uncertainty, we should endeavor for understanding. And when there is ambiguity, we should endeavor for agility. And the world, if that's become so hostile, maybe you should endeavor for humanity. The VUCA world that we always talk about and we're amazed has a root on wars. The VUCA world was quoted by the US Army when they went to Afghanistan and Iraq and realized suddenly that what they knew when they went to the warfare was not enough, and they had to justify that there's almost failure to win the war, or to some is actually a failure to win the war, is because they entered the VUCA world. And aren't we at war at this point in time? And therefore, the VUCA world, which used to be negative, where they describe it as very rapidly changing and volatile, the more we should talk about our vision. What is our vision of education? Like, what is our vision of your school? What is the vision of Philippine education? If indeed it is uncertain, maybe we should focus more into understanding. If indeed this is very complex, then we should strive for clarity. And if this is really ambiguous, maybe we want to be agile. Agility where we collaborate. Agility is where we put together ourselves towards the same goal, much willing to change direction, but still focus on the same vision. And they say that this is hostile. This is a very hostile world, the very hostile moment of our existence. Maybe we should strive to see ourselves as humanity. We cannot anymore detach ourselves from the rest of humanity. We cannot close our eyes to Russia and Ukraine. Because, you know, when they do something there, when they engage in nuclear war somewhere there, I'll tell you, we're not Philippines so far away from their universe. You know, when China and Taiwan and US would do something that would declare their war, oh my God, I'll tell you, we're part of it. You see, and when even insurgency in our own environment, you know, even our own government, even our own people who's not tired of talking about pinklawans and
Bunyan iso nga nakabaak niya. So, bibuyan na Axel.
oh, ano daw sabi niya?
Awak naka-duty kay so na magtukulata ko na da siguro nila kay na puro nga nila kay na tagaw-awat ibayad ko. One madikamo 200 110 baka 15.
Anong sabi niya? Please translate that to me. Please translate that to me.
Okay
Yeah,
na po.
that's the danger of technology, you see, and that's why there is even, anyway. And yes, I would like to say this because we have to see the classroom in school beyond its corners, beyond the curriculum. You know, we have to see our role as not only as educators and leaders, we have to see our roles as humans, as members of this humanity. I'm now finishing an article for my business mirror, and I would like to say that there are threats to human existence. The major threats, of course, the threat of the war, the threat of the pandemic, the threat of climate change, the threat of technology, you know, the threat of food security, the threat of the inflation. You want more? But these are threats that are not small threats. There are others are even call it mega threats. And therefore, I'll go back to the prayer that Lord grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. But Lord, grant me the courage to change the things that I can. And more importantly, Lord, grant me the wisdom to know the difference. And therefore, we have to define our circles and make our influence operate in that circle. And that operation will be anchored on scientific basis of theories, which I warn you can be old. Don't believe in old theories so much. You see, even the Bloom's taxonomy has been reinvented. Okay, I would like to remind you that theories are just guideposts. Theories are just, we're just true. Neither are we complaining that their theories are not applicable to ours, to ours right now. When I was in Stanford, there was this conversation that I had to raise my hand. And I said, why are we seemingly criticizing the theories of the past when these theories were not actually creating their theories for us? They were creating their theories for their times. So what is the point of even evaluating if their theories are still applicable to our times? Because obviously they were not prepared for our times. They were preparing and explaining and describing their times. So what is the challenge? The challenge is not only theory application, the challenge of our times is theory development, because our times are so different from theirs. So while we are enjoying the conversation using the past theories to explain how we will do it better in our practice, I would say that let us not limit it to only savoring the beauty of their theories. Let us be part of theory development. Okay, and I would challenge, because you're graduate students, your PhD students, if your dissertation is only validation of some theories, come on, you're wasting your PhD after your name. You know, your dissertation should be towards theory development. Kaya wag nyo akong paupuin sa panel ninyo na walang mapapala ang word of knowledge sa dissertation nyo dahil hindi ko kayo ipapasa. My real challenge is, what is the theory that we can derive from your dissertation? And Dr. Virgo Lopez here is a perfect example of that. You know, there was no pandemic yet when he was preparing for his dissertation in the Philippine Normal University. It's about disaster preparedness and school leadership, school-based management in disaster. And I would remember we were in the terminal when we were doing the framework. And then the pandemic came, and Dr. Virgo Lopez even expanded his theory to include the pandemic experience. Now, school heads would have a guide, and there is now a theory available for us as guide for school heads, so that they can, you know, they can not only respond, but they can actually mitigate the disasters that could come our way. You see, this conversation today is important because this is going to be walk the talk. Walk the talk. You know, these graduate students, you know, PhD students and doctors love talking. I love talking. But what's the point of talking when you cannot walk? Walk the talk. Okay, let's not just talk. Let's walk. And not walking is a symbol of progress. No matter how small steps you take, for as long as you're progressing forward, then that's okay. And this is my last message for all of you. If you want to travel fast, travel alone. But if you want to travel far, travel together. And that's why this conversation today will be very rich, because walking your talk will even bring you not only farther, not only faster, but surer. And it doesn't matter sometimes if you are fast or far. The best part of that journey is that you know where you're going. You know where you're heading. Because you may be traveling fast or traveling far, but if you're lost, what's the point of traveling? And the theories that you're talking about today is actually all about the theories that would guide your way to make sure that you can travel far, fast, together, and sure. Thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to all of you. May your tribe increase, and may you thrive to increase. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carl Balita, for that motivation and also the challenge of putting theory into practice. We will be reminded that it takes a village to raise a child, and we will always be a part of this very diverse nation, and we need to go beyond our roles as more than just classroom teachers and to be a part of theory development. And thank you, sir, for that reminder for our dissertation later on. May we have this part take this part for an photo opportunity together with Dr. Carl Balita. Can we ask everyone to please turn on their cameras? And let us make the most of this moment. So at our count, smile please. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you again, Dr. Carl Balita.
Thank you.
At this point, we are very much overwhelmed because we already have 142 participants out of the 75 duly registered participants. So may we ask the others to please register at the link provided, okay, in our stream. And if you want to avail of the certificates, please do so by clicking on the link. At this juncture, to acquaint with us with today's highly esteemed resources speakers, let us watch an AVR presentation prepared by Sir Benril Villamera, PhD student.
To the Pan Pacific University President, Dr. Rhonda Padilla, to the Dean of Pan Pacific Graduate School, Dr. Engelbert Pasag, to the Program Director of the Executive Education, Dr. Carl Belita, to our Professor and at the same time Vice Chancellor for Academics, Dr. Virgo Lopez, to all the participants in this morning's webinar, a productive day to one and all. In this event, we are glad that we have invited caliber speakers who will enlighten us on the different topics that we will learn today. Allow me to introduce to you our three distinguished speakers. Our first speaker holds a master's degree in public health and Master of Science in Nursing Administration. He was awarded with Excellence in Leadership in the 2019 Oman OFW Awards by the Philippine Embassy and Philippine Overseas Labor Office. He has authored 8 books. He is an international book writing coach with his flagship program Write Your Legacy book writing program, which already produced almost 400 authors in just 2 years all over the globe. He is currently the CEO and president of John 14 Verse 14 Book Publishing Center and the founder of Legacy of Kindness Foundation. Everyone, let us give a virtual applause to our first speaker, none other than Coach Jonas Dupo, who will talk on the topic translating theories into practice towards a future-proof school-based management. Our second speaker finished his Master of Arts in Education major in Educational Management degree in St. Louis College, San Fernando City, La Union. He finished his Doctor of Philosophy specializing in Development Education from Virgin Milagrosa University Foundation in San Carlos City, Pangasinan. He is a licensed professional teacher by profession. He is an expert in leadership and management, and this expertise paved way to his career progression. Currently, he is an education supervisor of the Commission on Higher Education Regional Office 1 in charge of undergraduate and graduate teacher education programs. He also serves CHED as focal person for different professional associations, consortia, and line agencies. Everyone, virtual applause please to our second speaker, none other than Dr. Juan Primitivo Petrola. Dr. JP will enlighten us on his topic Good Practices of Teacher Education Institution in Region 1. Our third speaker has a humble beginnings as Teacher 1 in the Department of Education on January 2, 2005. She passed the National Qualifying Exam for School Heads and was promoted to Principal 2 on January 3, 2017. She served as trainer for various regional and division-initiated trainings and seminars. She is also a scholarship grantee for Fellow in School Leaders Development Program of Excel Foundation. She is a finalist for the 2013 Most Outstanding Teacher of the Province of La Union. Her school was also a finalist during the search for the Best Brigada Implementer 2021. She is a module evaluator, Gawad Silang awardee and a lead proponent in the crafting of the Nguyen Cluster History. At present, she is a Principal 3 of Nguyen Senior High School. Ladies and gents, a virtual applause to our third speaker on the topic showcasing SBM Best Practices of Education champion, Ma'am Claire Polanco. To the Pan Pacific.
Wow, knowing the work and life accomplishment of today's speaker is already very inspiring. Tama po ba? We are now ready to listen to our first speaker. Please help me enjoy welcoming Mr. Jonas Dupo. Sir?
Isang mapagpalang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you so much for having me here. I hope I'm clear. Can you please give a thumbs up if I'm clear, if you can hear me? Yeah? Perfect. Thank you so much. Ayan. Simulan na natin. Let's start the ball rolling. I'm so excited for today. Thank you so much for having me here. I want to acknowledge, of course, everybody who prepared this. Maraming salamat for this opportunity. My topic is translating theories into practice towards a future-proof school-based management. And before we start, can we just pray? I'll just pray for this presentation. Okay, can we all close our eyes and feel the presence of the Lord, our dear never-loving God? We honor you, we glorify you, Panginoon. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and we recognize your power, oh God. I just want to lift to you every attendee. I pray, Lord God, that they will grasp something today. Speak in our hearts, oh God. Be in the words that we'll be speaking, the thoughts that we'll be thinking. We're claiming victory, oh God, for this endeavor. And we thank you, Lord God, for the presence of everybody. Thank you, Lord God, for being in our midst. And we just want to bring back to you all the glory and honor to the most powerful name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Purihin ang Panginoon. And before I continue, I want to read some chat, okay, just to make this light. I want you to share your biggest blessing this week. Mabilisan lang. What is that one thing that you are grateful for sa linggong ito? Please, chat lang. Ayan, pwede ba? Para before I start, medyo magbasa-basa tayo ng mga comments galing sa ating mga attendees today. The question here is, what is that one thing that you are grateful this week? Something that you celebrate, something na talagang tuwang-tuwa ka ngayon. Pwede ba? Paki-chat na lang. I'm waiting and I'm excited to read your... Ayun. Sunod-sunod na sila. We have here... Just for a while. Ayan na sila. Kathleen Joy Manangan, I'm grateful for being healthy every day. Purihin ang Panginoon. Diane Balacanaw is watching. I'm grateful for the protection from the Typhoon Paeng. Amen. Romel Bravo, I'm grateful for health. Jenny Maydaos, new day and new life. Ayan. Nel De Castro, I'm grateful. 30% holiday pay. This sana all. Okay. Palapakan natin ang bawat isa. Maraming salamat. Continue declaring blessings because gratitude attracts blessings. Huwag nating tigilang magpasalamat sa lahat ng mga pagpapala at mga biyaya na meron tayo. Okay? Sa lahat ng mga blessings na meron ka ngayon, purihin ang Panginoon. My big message for today is this. If there's one thing that you should remember, tattooed inside your heart, this message: produce. Whatever happens, produce. I think I'm talking to leaders in our educational institution, or whether you're a teacher or a student, whatever is your profession right now. My big message, I want to encourage everyone, produce. At the end of the day, it's a battle between, okay, results. Kaya nga may mga SBM, mga accreditation tayo. That's why we have outstanding leaders. You know what's their basis? Result. So if you're just there to show off that you're a leader, if you are just there to show off that, hey, I was able to make my dreams come true, I'm this and that, and I'm a PhD graduate, and I'm doing all I'm doing all these things, but then at the end of the day, the real question is your result. The real deal here is your result. So when you go back to your institutions, when you go back to the organization where you are currently connected, please remember this, my dear, produce. Whatever happens, produce. It's a battle of results. So translating theories into practice, yes, we need to see that tangible results. A lot of us were very expert, in just roaming around, in having a lot of meetings, pero wala namang resulta. Diba? Hindi maganda yon. So today, okay, one thing that you should remember with this presentation is this big message. Dapat meron kang resulta. It's a battle of result. Amen? Produce, and whatever happens, produce. I just want to share my story. You know what? My personal experience, I work in the Sultanate of Oman for almost 6 years. And after 2 years of being a bedside nurse, I was promoted as focal point in the regional office related sa ating nursing research department. So I was a focal point in the regional nursing research department. And after almost 4 years of being there, I'm so happy because before I exited in Oman, before I resigned working as an overseas Filipino worker, I was awarded as outstanding leader with excellence in leadership in the 2019 Oman OFW Awards. So, I'm sharing this because when I look back, what they checked during that time. And when I was assessing, trying to evaluate what happened in that almost 6 years in Oman, it's all about result. So I did apply a lot of theories that I learned. I did apply theories that I learned about management, about leadership, dealing with people, dealing with myself, dealing with the community, dealing with the people around you, your subordinates, your heads, and a lot of people. And after that, here's the result. I think this is just a bonus, receiving awards. But I want to let everyone know that I'm sharing this because for me, it's really a battle of result. You will create a legacy in your organization. You'll become like, people will remember you when you produce something. And during that time, for the first time in history in Oman, we were able to organize the first national nursing research conference, and a lot of national conferences headed by me. And that's actually one of the biggest projects of our organization. So again, okay, I'm sharing here based from my experience. It's really all about results. So are you ready? Now we will discuss. I will present 3 or 4 levels, translating theories into practice for school leaders or anyone. I think we have attendees from different organizations. There are 4 levels for me. The first one is ourselves. We need to lead ourselves. You cannot inspire people if you're not motivated yourself. You cannot inspire people. You cannot really ask people to work with you if you have a lot of issues, if your character is not good. There are a lot of trust issues. Integrity is not good. You are not also good in your relationship. You don't know how to deal with people. You don't communicate with them well. And you have a lot of problems with your interpersonal relationship. You have a lot of problems with your finances, with your family. So how can you influence people in your organization? Okay, so that's one thing that I want to share now. 4 levels. Okay, number 1, let's start the ball rolling. Yourself. You need to lead yourself. Translating theories into practice, you need to learn something, how to lead yourself. According to an African proverb, it says, when you win the enemy within, there's no enemy outside that you cannot win. Beautiful. Diba? Kapag masaya ka inside, when you are motivated, your character is okay, your mental health is okay, your relationship is okay, and then your finances, they are all okay, organized, you are leading yourself very well. That's the only time that you can lead your organization. That's the only time that you can lead your community. Because I met a lot of outstanding leaders. I met a lot of people working in the organization, and those who really produce big, massively, are people who are really motivated. They were able to motivate themselves, to inspire themselves, and of course, they were able to lead themselves. First challenge, lead yourself. How? I will share 10 ways. Number one is to improve your perspective in life. Now, it's cliche, positive thinking, you talk positive things, but I think until today, it's still effective. I believe that there's power in the way we think, the way we look at things. If you think about all the negative things happening in your life, always talk about all the negative things happening in your life. If you are not supporting yourself with your words, if you're not telling yourself, I can do this, I'm called to do this, okay, it's no accident that I am here, and I can do this, even if I'm just starting, I can do this. I know that God will send opportunities for me. Perspective, mindset, the way you look at things, that's very crucial. If you look at things like this world, this organization is not just a challenge for me, but this organization will give me opportunity to utilize my potential to the full, then it will be different. But if you say, oh my gosh, this is a curse, this is a big problem, my role now is a big problem, and I think I cannot do this. If you kept on repeating that, then one day, God will show, then you cannot really do it. Perspective, mindset, how you look things. That's number 1, leading yourself. Number 2, okay, you change your habits. You change your habits. Leaders, please, okay? The best way to change your life is to change your habits. If you want to produce something, you have to try to have a look. What are the things that you do the moment you wake up in the morning and before you sleep? Those who produce something early in the morning, like in their offices, those who are motivated, did you remember you are a bit irritated, and early morning you woke up late, and then you went to work late, and everything turned upside down? Did it happen to you? It happened to me plenty of times. So I need to start my day right. I need to write on my gratitude journal. I need to pray before going to work. Before you even present yourself to your organization, to the people around you, please make sure that you are okay. So now, guys, if you will ask me how to change my life, how to improve my life, and change what you do, change your habits. The best way to change your life is to change your habits. I remember what Albert Einstein said: insanity is doing same things over and over again and expecting a different result. You want to become healthy, but do you exercise? Do you eat properly? Yeah. You want to have more, you want to nurture your relationship with your family. The question here is, do you spend your time with your spouse, with your children, or you spend more time with your mobile phones? Habits. You change something and then you will experience change. Okay? Again, sabi ni Einstein, kabaliwan daw. Kabaliwan daw kapag, bukas sana maging masaya na ako sa office, maging okay na ako sa buhay. And then, you are very resistant to change. Again, change will only happen in your life if you change your habits. That's number 2, leading thyself. Number 3 is to be grateful. We started this day, right, by being grateful. This presentation by being grateful. Embrace gratitude. Do you write? Do you have a gratitude journal? Do you write your blessings? Do you have a blessing logbook? I mean, every morning, I have it with me in front of me. This is actually my blessing logbook. Now, in the past 7 years, I'm writing 10 blessings every day. And it's actually helping me. People often ask me, Brother Jonas, why you're so happy? Why so motivated? Can you please share with us like one practical tips why you kept on achieving dreams, manifesting your dreams? And the answer is gratitude. That's why I asked everyone a while ago, and I honor those people who wrote their something that they are grateful for the day. Yeah. So please be grateful. Tandaan niyo to, gratitude attracts blessings. And leaders who are grateful will often attract results and will often produce something big. I met ungrateful people, and oh my gosh, the law of the universe, what you give out will always bounce back to you. So if you are bad, if you are not grateful with the blessings that you have, they will leave you. Okay, please. Number 3, celebrate your blessings. Number 4, improve your character. This is very crucial. You are leading and you are influencing people, and people are looking up to you, and people are actually following what you say and what you do. Now, if your character is affected, your integrity is affected, so how can you inspire people? How can you force other people to believe you? How can you force your colleagues to follow you? You have a lot of issues with finances, with corruption, with being late. Diba? So papakinggan ka lang ng mga tao kapag maayos yung sarili mo. So I really encourage everyone, leading yourself as much as possible. Like, I want you to commit to yourself that whatever happens, I don't want to involve in any scandal related to finances, related to like worst conflict or fight in your offices, because it will really talk about you. Here in the Philippines, you know what, guys, even if you do 101 good things, sometimes if you commit one mistake, everything will be forgotten, even the good things. So be very careful. Always remind yourself, will it affect my character? If it will affect your character, then don't do it. Diba? Napakasimple. But, there are leaders involved in corruption, in not so like problems in their relationship, immoralities. Sabi nga ni Zig Ziglar, the reward of integrity is integrity itself. Beautiful. You can sleep at night sound. Diba? Mas masaya mag-serve as leader kapag maayos yung buhay mo, kapag maayos yung character mo. Now, that's why if you are doing something bad now, mag-isip-isip ka na, please. Okay, magbago ka na. Iwanan mo na yan, tigilan mo na yan. One day, it will haunt you. At magulat ka na lang, mga 5 years, 10 years from now, maybe they will use that against you. Okay, take good care of your character. Number 5 is your deepest why. Now, I love this. Why you are doing what you do now. Ba't ka nandyan? Again, why you are teaching? Again, why you are taking your PhD? Because if it's for shallow reason, you cannot succeed in what you do. At kung matapos mo man yan, hindi ganun kalalim, hindi ganun kasaya. Deepest whys. There are students here, why you're still studying? And there are a lot here working in a certain organization. Ba't nandiyan ka pa? Ba't pumapasok ka pa araw-araw? What's the main reason? Laliman mo. Is it for your family? Is it because you support your family? Is it because you have big dreams? That's why you are still there? Kasi cliche pakinggan, parang cheesy pakinggan. Ano kasi ang deepest why mo? Pero totoo yan. You will connect your purpose. You will connect yung positive mindset na yan. You will connect your good habits sa deepest why mo. This is your fuel. This is your fuel. Because guys, what you do now, it's not easy. It's not easy leading people. It's not easy like, oh my gosh, ang daming competition sa organization. Competition with promotion. Pero kung hindi ka na-promote, titigil ka na ba? Kung hindi ka nabigyan ng reward, will you stop? Is that your main reason why you're still there? Because of reward? Di ba? Kaya nga laliman mo kung anong dahilan bakit ka nandyan. You lead yourself very well. Number 6, you take good care of your health. Mahalaga to. Nurse po ako by profession. I mean, para siyang may domino effect. When your health fails, it will affect a lot of, like different aspects of your life. Imagine you're working in a school, you're a school head. And then because you did not take good care of your health, isa-isa na yung mga sakit nandyan na. Yung activities kayo, I cannot attend, I need to visit the doctor. Not to offend anyone. Pero guys, we need to invest in our health. We need to check your health. If your health fails, it will affect your relationship with people, your finance, your family, you reaching your dreams. Malaking epekto yan. Kaya nga sabi ko, di ba, like, translating theories into practice, anong ginagawa mo to protect your physical health and your mental health? What do you do to protect your sanity? Lalo na ngayon, big issue ang mental health. Yeah? Do you spend your quiet moment? Do you write in your journal? Do you spend your vacation just to recharge? Kasi lahat yung wala talaga mga production ng mga heads natin and teachers. You know what they do? Wala, na-overwork na. Parang puro na lang ibang taong iniisip nila. Isipin mo naman ang sarili mo. Yeah? It's very important also because you cannot give what you do not have. And this is very crucial. Usapang health, very crucial. Physical health man yan, and even mental health, very crucial. Once you're affected by it, mahirap na i-carry out yung mga responsibilities mo. Please lang. Okay? Alagaan nyo ang inyong mga sarili. Number 7 is all about your relationship. Take care of your family. Sa mga married dito, maging ganun ka. Committed ka sa asawa mo. You spend more time with your kids. Kasi based sa research yan, when you are happy with your relationship, okay ka sa asawa mo, sa mga anak mo, sa mga kaibigan mo, you are connected with them, talagang you nurtured your relationship. You know what? It will translate with the way you treat other people. It will translate yung outlook mo pagdating mo sa school, when you go to work, pagdating mo dun sa organization, people will feel that, this person is happy. And when you're happy with your family, we're able to fix yung mga kailangang ayusin. Somehow, you can carry that. I believe with all my heart that our finance, our health, our relationship will affect our work in the organization. Ito yung mga inisip mga, hindi, ganun yan, usapang trabaho lang to. Usapang trabaho, when you forget, you did not fix yung mga inside job na tinatawag natin. You're not okay inside your relationship, puro problema sa bahay. Sa tingin mo, you'll become outstanding in your workplace? Mahirap. Mahirap. That's why, if there are things that you can do, okay, so that you can improve your relationship, please do it. That's number 7. Number 8, it's the clarity of purpose. You set goals. You set goals. What are the things that you want to achieve in the next year? And then you read goals. You read your goals. You remind yourself every day. Okay? People who can lead, people who can inspire others. Alam nyo kung anong pinaka-isang sikreto nila, alam nila kung anong gusto nila. The clarity of purpose. They have goals. You know what? There are people who are excited to wake up in the morning because they have big goals. Diba? Pero yung mga walang pangarap, matanda na ako, hindi na ako magpi-PhD, hindi na ako magsusulat ng libro, sa inyo na lang. Yan ang pinaka-hate ko na naririnig sa mga schools. Like, writing a book, not for me. Because attending the seminar, hindi na ako nakailangan yan. Kasi hindi naman ako magpapapromote. Oh my gosh. Kahit anong taon ka pa, kahit anong edad mo pa, kahit anong achievements na meron ka, one of like something that can fuel you every day is setting goals. Have a dream. You write something. And I'm motivated to wake up every day because I have big goals. And I hope that you also write goals in the next 5 years. May mga listahan. Sino dito may mga listahan ng mga pangarap nila pa thumbs up nga? Ayan. Oh, sino dito may listahan na in the next 5 years, these are the 5 things that I want to achieve. Ayan. Ayan, meron ba pa thumbs up? Ayan, meron. Romel, bravo, congratulations. So yun, Patricia Rosana. Di ba? And when you read that every morning, you'll be motivated to work. You'll be excited to go to work. Kasi nga may dahilan. Okay? Because of those dreams. I want to encourage everyone, please, magsulat kayo ng mga pangarap ninyo. Write 10 goals or 20 or 15 goals. Every day, read it in the next 5 years para mas excited kang bumangon sa araw-araw. Yeah? And number 9, ito na, usapang result. Marami sa atin dito, ikot lang ng ikot, nasa trabaho pero wala namang ginagawa. Maraming nagpapanggap. And I hate employees who are like that. Ikot ng ikot, ang daming pinupuntahan naman daw. Pero at the end of the day, wala palang nagawa. Akala mo ang daming meeting na inattendan, yung pala nagkipag-marites lang. Diba? It's just so sad. And the organization is paying you to roam around. Nakakalungkot. Paying you to roam around, paying you to have to ganon, be with the Marites. Di ba? Kaya alam mo kung ako ang school heads o kung ako ang leader sa isang organization, bago tayo mag-uwian sa hapon, mag-usap tayo 5 minutes, anong nagawa mo ngayon? Yan, tataas ang productivity. Pero kung, di ba, hindi lahat ng oras nakikita tayo ng mga boss natin. That's also integrity. Pero lagi mo sabihin ng sarili mo, you are an effective leader and you are contributing massively in your organization kapag meron kang resulta. Usapang result. And last but not the least is all about faith. Ako like kahit ano pang congregation yan, kahit ano pang pinapaniwalaan mo, I believe that you na naniniwala ka sa supreme being, okay na yan. Kasi when you have God in your life, actually mas nagiging okay mga trabaho, mas marami kang nagiging pangarap. So I just want to encourage everyone, okay? In order for you to lead yourself, ito yung 10 bagay na to, okay? Unahin mo yung perspective mo, improve that. Number 2, ayusin mo yung habits mo. Number 3, magpasalamat ka sa mga biyaya na meron ka. Number 4, at all costs, protect your integrity. Huwag kang mai-involve sa mga immorality, corruption, and all other things. Deepest wise, laliman mo ang dahilan mo bakit ka andyan, para mas maging masipag ka. Number 6, also protect your health. Physical health man yan, mental health man yan. Number 7, also improve your relationship. Okay? Number 8, yan, set goals. Clarity of purpose ang tawag natin. And number 9, produce. Dapat meron kang resulta. And number 10, believe in higher being. To trust at para may mai-offer ka sa mga ginagawa mo. Yan yung 10 sa sarili yan. Ngayon, after leading yourself, Brother Jonas, okay na ako. Kaya ko nang humarap sa mundo. Okay, we are talking about SBM. So for schools here, how to lead your clients. Ayun naman. 5 ways to lead your clients. And sinong clients natin sa school? Sinong heart? Who is the most important? Who are the most important clients in our schools? The students. The students. Very crucial. 5 ways. Number 1, please, teachers, leaders in the organization, or kahit sino man dito na hindi nagtatrabaho sa school, okay? Practice a small act of kindness every day. Diba? Kung meron kang pwedeng gawin, gawin mo na. Kung na ipagpabukas. If you can smile to that stranger, if you can say, hi, how are you? If you can do that, much better. Diba? Malit na bagay. It will not cost you much. So you need to, like, especially for teachers here, okay? You need to connect with your clients. Especially school leaders here, you need to connect with your clients, the students. Baliktad, no? Dapat estudyante mo na, dapat magpakabait sila sa atin. Baliktarin natin. How about you start doing good or being kind or being good to them? Small act of kindness. Okay? Every day. Number 2, hone values of students. Okay? So, related pa rin sa SBM School-Based Management. You need help from students. You need help from your colleagues, from the community. So, kapag hindi masyadong okay ang character ng mga estudyante nyo, kaya nyo you can always create a culture na puno ng respeto. So you create programs also to not just for academics, but also the values of your students. You work hard with your guidance services office, office of the student services. You work something para mas maging mabait sila, para mas mapabuti yung mga character ng mga estudyante. You know, like if you will do that, like 5 months, 6 months, you have that program sa values formation nila, you can observe transition sa mga ugali ng mga estudyante, lalo na ngayon. Okay? I talk to different institutions. I conduct values formation sa mga estudyante. Alam niyo ba, ibang-ibang mga bata ngayon? Nakakalungkot. Because of the pandemic, because of the digital age na, very different. So tutukan nyo to, mag-old school tayo, mga values formation, ibalik natin. Number 3, transform academic performance. Now, that's the biggest, what I call this, like the ultimate, pinaka-main goal ng mga schools natin. Department of Education, private institutions, pinaka-tinitignan talaga yung academic performance ng mga estudyante. So very crucial for you to create programs, okay, that will transform or improve the academic performance of your students. Kasi may mga tools dyan, may mga indicators, susukatin nila yan at the end of the year. So wag mong kakalimutan to. Number 4, okay? Number 4 is to create a positive and welcoming culture. Maganda rin to, okay? Actually, culture of what? Culture of excellence, culture of respect. Kaya nyo i-develop yan. And I'm telling you, malaking bagay yung gagawin ng leader. If creating a positive culture is a priority of your leaders, you can observe that. And I believe that becoming yung mga accreditation mo ng school-based management will become easier kapag okay ang culture ninyo sa inyong organization, especially a culture with your clients. And your clients are students. The main clients are students. And last but not the least is dream big for the students. Ano, I met principals, I met school heads and teachers na parang kontento na. Okay na kami sa ganito lang. Nakakalungkot ano. But I met also far-flung schools fighting in the national level. Imagine joining quiz bees at nananalo sila. Ha? Small schools. Walang imposible. When you create that culture, you transform the academic performance. And when you also communicate vision for your students, definitely the students will become motivated. Ulitin ko ha, 5 yan. Small act of kindness, kapag mabait ka sa kanila, I don't know, the universe is kind. Ganun din ang babalik sa'yo. As a leader, as a teacher. Number 2 also, please focus on their character. Kailangan natin yan ngayon. And as you focus with their character, syempre, main indicator natin, academic performance, don't forget that. And also create a positive and welcoming culture. As a leader, you have a lot of influence sa pag-create ng positive culture. And number 5 is, wag mong paliitin lang ang pangarap. Like, you encourage your students to dream big for the school. Kayang-kaya niyong lumaban, try nyo lang. Di ba? Malay nyo, manalo kayo mga division contest natin, mga district competition, mga national level competition. Okay? Ayan, so na-lead mo na-translate mo na yung theories into practice sa mga students. Siyempre, sa colleagues mo naman. Big word, colleagues. Mga co-teachers. Alam niyo yung big problem in different institutions. Punong-puno ng envy, naglipanan ang mga marites. Lalo na sa mga schools natin, alam niyo kung bakit big issue ang envy? Kasi halos direct competitors niyo ang bawat isa. Tama? Halos lahat kalaban niyo sa promotion. Pero even though kalaban niyo sila sa promotion, I pray na sana kahit papaano, magawan pa rin ng paraan na maging mabait kayo at maging magkakaibigan kayo. So, how to translate? Ayan, how to lead your colleagues, translate theories into practice, 7 ways. Mabilis lang po. Are you ready? Yeah, number 1, always follow what is right. Black and white. Alam niyo, when I was leading in Oman, kailangan maging transparent talaga tayo. Hindi pwede yung pabago-bago ka. Hindi pwede yung ikaw mismo sirang-sira ng pagkatao mo. People will not believe you. Yan dapat ito, character. Okay, I'm a leader now and I will lead 50 people or 20 people, 20 teachers. Number 1 that I need to consider is to always follow what is right. Kung ano yung tama. Kasi alam niyo, may mga tripper kaya na mga school heads. Pinagtitripan, pinagdidiskitahan, may mga favoritism na hindi nakakatuwa. And God has given you that opportunity to lead. Dinala ka ng Panginoon dyan, tapos sisirain mo lang. Sayang ang pagkakataon. Always follow what is noble and right. Number 2, have small talks with your colleagues. Totoo yun. Marami kayong mga snobbish na mga leaders na parang akala mo Diyos sila. Ayaw ko na makipag-deal sa mga ganyan. Guys, yung mga meeting ninyo, gawin yung enjoyable. Tama ba? Gawin yung parang may positive atmosphere. Hindi yung meeting na takot lahat. May mga leaders na ganun, okay? Principals, school heads, and leaders in different organizations that during your meeting, parang takot lahat. And they follow you out of fear, not out of love. Can you convert that? Makikinig ako sa'yo dahil mahal kita. I remember my boss when I was teaching in one of the colleges here in Tugigaraw, in Cagayan. Alam mo yon, sa sobrang marespeto, dahil sobrang bait talaga nakiki-connect sa'yo, iyak-iyak kaming gumawa ng masama. And that's primarily why we respect that person, why we respect him, because he is so good, he is so kind. And during our meeting, talagang, empleyado lang ako dito, president tong kausap ko, pero napakabait. Let's develop that culture also, okay? Ulitin ko ha, you try as leaders, please lang, dapat irespeto kanila, hindi dahil takot sila sa'yo, kundi dahil mahal kanila. Okay? Number 2, ayan, create also individualized approach. Now, this is so beautiful. Bakit? Kasi may kanya-kanyang personality ang mga staff. May kanya-kanyang personality ang mga employees. May mga uncomfortable sa mga biruan. May mga comfortable naman sa biruan. Kaya as a leader, you try to study each person. Like you try to study every person. And I want you to know, how will I approach this person? How will I approach my staff? This one is loner. This one is very noisy. You need to learn that, okay? You need to learn how to connect, okay? How to approach your staff, your employees. Not every approach that is effective for somebody is also effective for others. So you need to develop that relationship. You need to know them more. And the more that you know them more, the more that you will know how to approach them individually. Because there are some, for me, I don't like is straightforward. Like I'm uncomfortable with a straightforward approach. And my boss before learned that. And before he or she will, before he will correct me, he will explain the rationale. And that's very comfortable to me. And there are people naman, they are not comfortable with that way. But they want, okay, just give me what I need to do. What's my mistake and how will I correct? How will I improve it the next time? And that's it. And there's no issue. Okay, individualized approach. Number 4, ayun, this is amazing. Reward deserving staff. Let's promote positive competition. Also, be like orient the teachers, your colleagues, orient them. Okay, we are doing this not because we want to ignite like conflict in this institution. No, we want to acknowledge people who go to school early. We want to acknowledge people who pass their requirements early. And remember this, okay, very crucial. Leaders, please listen to me. Please compliment people in public or in front during meeting, acknowledge those who are performing good, and please also correct those who need like discipline in private. It's very effective. It's very effective. People now are so sensitive. Yeah. Number 5, model hard work and professionalism. Monkey see, monkey do. So how will I go to work early? My boss, okay, my head is not going to work early. So how can you communicate going to work early if you are not, you know, like going to work early? How can you communicate complete attendance if you are an absentee yourself? You always have excuses. How can you promote hard work if you are lazy? Yeah, that's it. Monkey see, monkey do. Be very careful how you deal with people. You show them. Most of the time, they will not remember what you say. They will see, they will remember what you do. Okay, they will not remember what you say, but they will remember and they will follow what you do. So as leaders, okay, in different institutions, organization, you model to them the real meaning of hard work. This is hard work. This is professionalism. And when they see that, it's very easy for them to follow you. Number 6, always communicate the vision. Now, this is school-based management thing. There are a lot of indicators. And whatever level of accreditation you want them to have, like inform them. Very clear. For me, one of my pet peeves is like disorganized goals. Scattered. What do you really want? Because sometimes I don't know where to start because I didn't understand the vision. I didn't understand the goal. But if the goals are very clear, these are the step-by-step things that we need to do, then definitely it will be easy for you to achieve your vision. Communicate what I say consistently in your speeches, in your letters, during time that you are enjoying together. You insert possibility of, oh, this is our vision for our school. This is our vision for our organization. Always remember this. And when people kept on hearing that, the employees, the part of the members of the organization, it will be tattooed in their hearts. And whatever decision, the next decisions that they will do is always also related to the vision. Communicate, okay? Always communicate the vision. Yeah, that's number 6. And number 7, very effective. Happy employees, if they are happy with that, what they do, they produce more. You nurture your relationship with them, you respect them, you build a culture that they are not afraid of you. Hindi yung culture na takot sila sa'yo. They are terrified because of you. You cannot, like, you are just forcing people to do what they do. But I want you to inspire and motivate people to do what they do. I'm doing this because I understand the vision. I'm doing this because I respect the heads and I love the heads and I love the school and I love the community. Amen? 3 things sa colleague natin. You show to them, okay, what is right. You follow what is right. You have the small talks with them. You create individualized approach, different yan. You reward deserving staff. You compliment people. You model hard work and professionalism. You communicate the vision. And definitely you nurture your relationship. Are you blessed? Last but not the least, very crucial also, part of this is school-based management, leading the community. Okay, you lead yourself, you lead your students, the clients, and then you lead also your colleagues. And the last part is leading the community outside. Let's go outside the school. Let's go outside your institution. How to do it? How to translate theories into practice? 4 ways. Number 1 is always offer courtesy. They love that. The mayors, the barangay captain, the barangay tanon, they love letters addressing them. This is our project. You know, even me, when I receive letters and courtesy, if you have time, example, you visited some place, you had a meeting in another office, and then if you have the opportunity to meet the head of the, like, for example, politicians heading the education committee, you try to go to them and just introduce yourself. Hey, I'm the new principal, I'm the school head, and you do this and that. I just want to say hi to you, and then leave. And then after that, just if you have the chance, courtesy, build relationship. Okay, build relationship. And they love this, yeah? Number 2 is be transparent with your program. Now, if you connect to your external stakeholders, if you connect to your community, kasi you have a purpose. We have a plan. We need to do this. We need to do something for this school. We need to do something for the organization. And I want you to be transparent with them. Again, if your thoughts are scattered, your plans are scattered, it will be difficult for them to follow. Okay, transparency is a key. Number three is I want you to be grateful and remind them of their goodness always. When you meet them along the way, hi, thank you so much for your help before. Hi, thank you so much for what you like, your contribution in our institution. You always acknowledge them, yeah? You always remind them of your goodness, of their goodness. Ako hindi ako I mean, people who helped me 5 years ago, when I meet them, you know what I do? You know what? Thank you so much. 5 years ago, you helped me with this. And sometimes they forget that. And I always remind them. It's actually good. It will produce like positive feelings. And of course, it will rekindle the relationship when you always remind people of their help towards your institution. Amen. And number 4 is to always protect your integrity. Now you are dealing with barangay captain, you are dealing with the local government unit office heads, mayors, you are dealing with them, and also you are dealing with parents, you are dealing with a lot. And once, okay, your character integrity isn't protected, my goodness, ang dami ng marites ngayon. Para siyang kidlat. Si ganito nagnakaw ng pera, patay. Malalaman na yan ng buong community. Okay, this is very important. Ulitin ko ha, 4, we have, please always offer courtesy. Ayan, be transparent with your program. Objective, be grateful. Remind them of their goodness always, and always protect your integrity. That's it. Thank you so much. Before I end, this is my, like a quotable quote lang. I shall pass through this world but once. So whatever kindness or goodness or love I can give, let me do it now. Let me not neglect or defer it, for I shall not pass this way again. Maraming salamat po, and I just want to declare sa lahat ng mga nakikinig ngayon, sana lahat kayo ulanin ng walang katapusang biyaya at pagpapala, at sana baguhin kayo ng siksik, liglig at umaapaw na biyaya. With all the good things that happened today, to God be the greatest glory. Maraming salamat po. Back to our MC. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Sir Dupo. That was very energetic, very inspiring as well, and also very insightful. Anyway, sir, you look very young, very talented, and very capable. Your tips are very realistic, very practical and timely. I took down notes while you're having your speech, and I'm so interested with all your tips, and it's good to be reminded that we need to be grateful every now and then, because as you say, gratitudes will always attract blessings. And I think from now on, I'll be keeping a journal of gratitude and goals sa ating lahat po. Yan, magkakaroon na po tayo ng journal. That's a very
I
good
call
tip.
this, Donna, I call this blessing logbook. Oh, di ba?
Okay,
logbook
sir.
ng mga pagpapala, yeah?
Blessing log. Noted, sir. Gagawin ko rin mamaya. And I think our participants will also do so. Okay, so very important to produce results, whatever happens. That was emphasized, and to create a culture of excellence, because you will not just be remembered with what you say, but with what you do. So sabi nga ni Sir Dupo, we only pass here once, so better make the most of it. Papuso naman po kay Sir Dupo, because that was really very inspirational. So smiley.
Matagal-tagal na yung last na may pumuso sa akin.
Okay, and siguro sa ating mga participants, if you will still remember the 4 levels, again, you could chat it on our chat box. Whoever chats first will have a GCash prize daw, according to our class leader. So yung unang makakapag
Sana all
code ng 4 levels. Okay, so we now come to the question and answer portion. For our participants who have questions, you may now raise your hands or just use our chat box for your queries. Sa ating mga participants sa ating live Facebook streaming, please comments as well. Meron po ba? Our PhD students are consolidating the questions at the moment.
Thank you. I want to acknowledge also, sir, author Benril Yamera. Actually, he's one of my students. He wrote the book Stand Out. Yeah. And he published that book. And it was actually, and Harry Cortez, they invited me. Thank you so much for connecting me with Pan Pacific University. Please support these two amazing people, your classmates in your PhD who are published authors. Very nice books. Yeah. Thank you.
Ayan, parang wala atang questions kasi napaka-complete
Amen.
and very substantial yung
I think we have a very
speech
nice
ni sir.
question. I think I saw from Romel Bravo.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes sir. And he asked this question, how would you deal with difficult teammates, sir?
Yun. How to deal with difficult teammate, you pray for that person and you always connect. Ako, I really encourage, don't always aim to burn bridges, to cut connections. I'll just, be away from that person. I don't want to deal with that. As much as possible, you do something, you connect, you ask that person, let's have coffee. I mean, you talk to that person. You know what? I'm doing this because I felt like we are uncomfortable with each other. Can we talk about it? Just do something muna. But if it's really difficult, then that's the time na you go on with your life. Okay, wag ka masyado magpa-apekto. Pero if you cannot just escape that person, if that person is part of your team, again, you build your relationship, you try to ask for help. Pag dumaan siya, di ba, dumaan yung masungit mong katrabaho, ilay hands mo. Yan, in Jesus' name, sana bumait na siya. Kidding. Okay? Ganun natin. Let's fight bad with good. Ayun, you kill them with kindness. I don't know, it's effective. Okay, I had a very difficult teammate and I made that as my project to become kind to this person. I share my baon, I connect with the person, I talk to him, di ba? Until such time na yun pala, hindi niya ako masyadong kilala. Kaya medyo iba yung dating niya sa akin. Okay? So, dealing with difficult teammate, very crucial is to nurture your relationship. In the beginning, don't just try to burn bridges. Okay? Please do, or don't just try to build walls, kundi, ayan, try to do something so that you'll be connected. I pray for you. Okay? Thank you. May nanalo na yata sa 4 levels. Sana all.
Okay. So, pa-message na lang po tayo mamaya. So, I think we are okay, sir, at this point.
Yay.
So, at this juncture, we now come to the awarding of certificate, our first speaker by the PhD students. Please allow me to read the citation. Certificate of appreciation is presented to Mr. Jonas C. Tupo in grateful appreciation of the information inspiration proof school-based management held on November 5, 2022 via Zoom platform, given this 5th day of November 2022 at Pan Pacific University, Ordoneta City, Pangasinan. Signed, Dr. Virgo C. Lopez, Vice Chancellor, Academics, Dr. Carl E. Barita, Director, Executive Education, and Dr. Engelbert C. Pasag, Dean, Graduate School. Sir? May we also have a photo opportunity with Sir Jonas Tupo. Please turn on your cameras. Very handsome speaker at this point.
Alam mo, first time may nagsabi sa aking handsome, ma'am. Oh.
True, sir. Very telegenic.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Pinagpawisan ako dun, ha.
Thank you once again, Sir Jonas Tupo. Okay ba tayo, mga participants natin at this point? So, buhay na buhay and live na alive po tayo. At this juncture, we will now proceed with our next speaker. Our next speaker is a man who is empowering, committed, service-driven, passionate, and radiates a high degree of professionalism. It is a privilege to have with us today the Education Supervisor of CHED Region 1, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Juan Primitivo P. Petrola. Sir?
Thank you very much, Ma'am Donna. I would like to say good morning. Naimbaga aldaw kada kayo amin. Masantun kapusan at sa kain amin. Buenos dias. If we have friends from the Mindanao area or ano ba, sa Bisaya, ay maayong buntag sa inyong tanan. I would like to say thank you to Sir Virgo, to Sir Asad, and Dr. Donna for this opportunity to be with you today. Unfortunately, Dr. Virgo told me that I'm only to share in 20 minutes time. So I'm going to, try to put all things together in 20 minutes or so that I can catch up with the time. Can you see the screen now? Not the one with the notes, but the actual. May I ask? Let's see.
Yes, Doc.
Okay, the presentation slide or the actual presentation?
Your presentation po, Doc JP.
Thank you, Sir Virgo. All right, my 20 minutes has started. Last 18 minutes. Okay, so I was tasked to share to you what are the good practices of teacher education institutions in Region 1. I was telling Dr. Virgo a while ago that I will be giving some manifest, some facts, and some data, which I believe our students here under the Doctor of Philosophy class of Dr. Virgo could relate to, and perhaps later on as I go along my slides, you can have some ideas on what theories you can use in your theoretical framework in your dissertation. Also, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our undergraduate students who are listening now, who are with us today. So allow me to go through the slides now. So just as a starter, I would like to show you the situation of teacher education programs in Region 1. Of course, you have 4 provinces in the region, and let's try to see how many higher education institutions are there in Region 1 and how many are teacher education institutions. And also, I would like you to have a glimpse of the enrollment. In Ilocos Norte, there are 10 higher education institutions. 10 because I included those in the campuses of our state universities and colleges. But originally, we have 6 higher education institutions in Ilocos Norte, 1 state university, that is the Mariano Marcos State University, and we have 5 private higher education institutions. So all in all, we have 5 teacher education institutions there, and we have 3,804 teacher ed enrollees as of school 2022-2023. Moving forward, let's go down from Norte, let's go to Sur. In Ilocos Sur, we have 16 higher education institutions, integrating those with the campuses. And out of the 16 rather, we have 11 higher education institutions total for Ilocos Sur. 3 are state universities and colleges. 1 is a local university, and 7 are private higher education institutions. We have 12 PEIs in Ilocos Sur, and we have 3,755 teacher ed enrollees from first year to 4th year college. Let's go to La Union, where my office is, but I'm now in Dagupan, I'm Pangasinan. So in La Union, we have 21 higher education institutions. Only 1 state university in La Union, that's the Don Mariano Marcos State University. And we have 18 HIs. All in all, 17 are private higher education institutions. Of the 18, 13 PEIs or 13 higher education institutions have teacher education programs. A total of 1,180 students for education. And we go to Pangasinan, having the biggest number of higher education institutions. We have 63 colleges and universities there, to include the campuses. But if you're going to merge the campuses of Pangasinan State University, we have 55 higher education institutions in Pangasinan, 1 state university, that's PSU. We have 4 local universities and colleges, and we have 50 private higher education institutions. Out of the 55 or the 63, to include the campuses, we have 51 teacher education institutions, and we have 31,723 teacher ed students from first year to 4th year. So those who are thinking of making or writing their dissertation with this data, you can use this data later if you plan to conduct a study on students and teacher ed institutions in the region. In a nutshell, this is another presentation of what I have told you a while ago. So all in all, we have 40,462 teacher education students in Region 1. But you might ask me, ang dami naman, sir, but it's not that really madami compared to other programs. It used to be that teacher education programs have the biggest number of enrollees, but the changing times provided us, paved the way for the realization that teacher education ranked number 2 only. The first degree program, most subscribed program in Region 1 is business education. Secondary is teacher education programs. So moving forward, this is just a situationer. I would like to introduce to you the terms Centers of Excellence or COE and Centers of Development or COD in teacher education programs. You can read the CHED Memorandum Order number 17 series of 2016 to have a glimpse of what these terms are all about. But in higher education, this is very important because this is one of the peaks of quality in terms of managing your colleges or universities or department. So what is the COE and CODs all about? No? In total, it says the COEs and CODs are there to serve as potent catalysts for world-class scholarships, best practices, innovative curriculum, research and extension, and professional development in teacher education program. That's what COE and COD is all about. Quality in terms of various areas. But I would like to highlight the term or the word best practices. It means that you are doing the usual, but beyond the usual, you're also doing extra work to make the ordinary really extraordinary. So what's the difference between a COE and a COD? The COE is already as I have said earlier, the highest recognition that we can give in the commission for a particular college or department in a university or a college. It means that if you are a center of excellence in a particular field, for this matter, for teacher education programs, it means that you are the best, the cream of the crop in terms of instruction, in terms of research and publication, in terms of extension and linkages and institutional qualifications. In other words, beyond accreditation status level 4, level 3, you have been producing top-notchers. You have always produced 100%, if not at least 90 to 100% passing rate compared to that of the national passing rate of the PRC. So that's a COE. The COD may also have that kind of characteristics. It is just that there are a few things or a few points rather that they were not able to get. That's why from a COE they go to COD. But a COD is a potential COE in the future. That is why you have to take care of them, nurture them, so that from a COD status, they will be going to a COE status. In Region 1, we have 7 HEIs who have been recognized by the Commission on Higher Education to have this kind of recognitions or awards. For the Center of Excellence in Teacher Education Program, we have 3. We have 1 in Ilocos Norte, that's Mariano Marcos State University, College of Teacher Education. MMSU's main campus is in Batak, but the College of Teacher Education is in Lawag City. For La Union, we have SLC, St. Louis College. It's a sister school of St. Louis University run by the CICM Fathers. And for Pangasinan, we have Pangasinan State University, in particular in Bayambang. So these are 3 COEs in Region 1. For CODs, we have University of Northern Philippines in Bigan. And in La Union, there are the two campuses of Don Mariano Marcos State University in Agoo, the South La Union, and in Bacnotan or the North La Union campus, or that's actually their main campus. And in Dagupan, particularly, we have the University of Luzon. So that's a situationer. Moving forward, I would like to report to you what are the regional initiatives that we have been doing in CHED in terms of making sure that teacher education programs are really quality. We have created the Region 1 Teacher Education Advisory Council. Together with DepEd, CHED and DepEd merged some of our plans, and in particular, the R1 TEA focuses on teaching internship. We have been, it's a council, we've been discussing issues, challenges, and we're identifying gaps to how teacher education programs are being conducted in the region and how can we assist our teacher education institutions in addressing the gaps and in creating linkages between and among our higher education institutions and that of the DepEd schools. So these are some of the pictures that we have in our Wantea. Also, another is that we have created the League of Region 1 Teacher Education Teams. It's a group chat, but more than that, more than a group chat, it's also a group where our deans in the region collaborate with one another, ask questions, they exchange ideas, they send links to seminars, they send links to trainings, so that the benefit of one will be the benefit of all. As much as possible, it is my dream for teacher education institutions to erase competition and embrace a powerful collaboration between and among our TEIs. Because as Dr. Carl said a while ago, walking is a journey and we have to collaborate. We have to journey together. So no, we have to make competition a taboo nowadays. Also, we have been participating with the PAFTE. It's a national association, and in the region, the president is the dean of Pan Pacific University, Tayug, who happens also to be the principal now of the basic ed of Pan Pacific University in Urdaneta. And just like last August 26, we conducted a roundtable discussion. We called all our teams in the region to talk about what are the challenges and issues that confront teacher education institutions in the region. Aside from identifying the gaps, our deans in the region discussed how can we address these gaps? How can we make sure that teacher education programs are still relevant in a world where technology has started to dominate the actual teachers, right? And then si Alexa, and then si Google, and then si YouTube. So a lot of technology has started to compete with teachers. But of course, I believe that technology is not actually a competitor of educators, but a partner in making sure that the education is really quality. Now, as a former principal, before going to the Commission on Higher Education, allow me to share to you some good practices of our teacher education institutions based on our meetings with them and based on my personal experience as a former principal, not a principal, but a former principal of a basic education school. So to present that to you, allow me to share to you 4 areas of educational leadership or educational management so that we can identify saan yung magaganda na areas na meron tayo sa Region 1. So una, pag-usapan natin what is in institutional management, what is in curriculum management, the physical plan and facilities, and human resource. These are important areas of managing our schools because I know that you are familiar with SBM of the DepEd. This is important because these 4 would give us the strong pillars of creating an honest to goodness, efficient and effective management of our institutions. So to do that, we have to take a little step backward and try to see what happened with our teacher education institutions when COVID-19 existed, or it's an unwelcome visitor, interrupted our lives. These 4 areas of educational management were severely affected. School management, we have there, of course, what are the issues? The issues on the possibility, it's not actually a possibility. There are schools who closed because of COVID-19. Why did they close? Issues on bankruptcy. Why did they have issues on bankruptcy? Because of financial inviability. Why? For private schools, whether we like it or not, tuition fee collections, these are the bloodline of our institutions. Without tuition fee and miscellaneous collections, the operation of private schools will be very much affected. Maswerte ho ang mga public schools because of course you're government funded, you are being subsidized by the national government. But for private schools, colleges and universities, COVID really hit badly. And I don't know if you remember, there was one particular school in Quezon City, if I'm not mistaken, College of the Holy Spirit or Holy Spirit College, run by religious sisters. They declared bankruptcy and they closed the school. because there were no classes and no tuition fee collections. So how would they pay the benefits and salaries of employees? They cannot provide otherwise. So that's one issue on financial or on school management, institutional management. The second issue is on human resource. Second issues are on human resource. Number one, our institutions, well, unfortunately, they did not like it, but they have to do it. They retrenched employees. They advised some of their senior teachers to avail of early retirement. Some were laid off. Some were not renewed in terms of their contract. So some of our colleagues are unemployed for the last 2 years. That's why they have to make both ends meet by engaging themselves in online selling, in a lot of activities that would provide for the family to put food on the table. And then for those who are plantilla items, of course, some had delayed salaries, some had delayed benefits or reduced benefits. Some would say no work, no pay. So instead of the work from home, the 5 days na cut short, nag-report pa rin sila just to make sure na meron sila. In terms of curriculum management, of course, it is an issue, sudden shift. In the normal teaching that we do, we now have synchronous, asynchronous, flexible learning, blended learning. The usual classroom was interrupted. We all are now in our class Zooms or in our online platforms. The second issue, curriculum management, is how strong is the infrastructure or IT capability rather of schools and our households. No, maaaring maganda ang internet sa school, pero sa bahay ay mahina ang internet connection ng mga bata, so affected sila. Our college students are very also much affected. We have received a lot of complaints in the regional office telling na walang yung school namin magandang internet pero ang bahay namin wala, malayo kami sa syudad, our internet connection is not that too strong, etc., etc. And then there are teachers who are not really into technology, so they were forced to embrace technology now. The competencies of teachers in information technology was also challenged in a way, and also assessment strategies. How do we check test papers now? I have a doubt that during the pandemic, we were able to produce a lot of honor students. But the underlying question there is who really answered the modules? For teachers here in the Department of Education who are with us, I know you have the same question. Who answered the modules of your students? Mga estudyante ba talaga ninyo or mga magulang nila? Kaya biruan namin ng mga kaibigan ko sa DepEd, sabi ko, kahit pa yung pinost mo, pangalan ng mga estudyante mo para magandang palitan. Dapat nanay ni Joy, top 2, nanay ni Mark, top 3, ate ni Luis, top 4, kapitbahay ni Marco. Because you don't have a mechanism at the start to really check the validity of the outputs of our students, whether they did it or not. Okay, and that's reality. And of course, not only in terms of assessment, but also in terms of providing learning materials. Diba? So dati-dati, Manila paper, ngayon kailangan PowerPoint na, you have to learn a lot of online, download a lot of online applications to suit the needs of your learners in your online classes. Another issue is how ready are our students? Because they were used to having teachers in front of them, and now suddenly they are inside their homes, of course, in front of their laptops, of their tablets, and of their iPhones or cell phones. No? So how ready also in terms of dati pag may klase dapat maaga kang gigising, mag-aayos ka, maliligo ka, magbibihis ka, mag-uniform ka. Ngayon, pag gising ng bata, alarm clock ng 7, online yung cellphone, yung online class, sarado ang camera, nakikinig lang siya. Nakahiga, hindi ka naglalaro, nagluluto, and everything. So maraming kaaway ang teacher pagdating sa online class, sa atensyon ng bata. So for physical plant and facilities, the question is, are our facilities new normal ready? That's one question. Number 2, you have internet connection. Yes, you have bandwidth. Yes, you have routers in your schools. Yes. Question: are they updated? Are they now fiberized? Okay, in terms of the connection, are our schools compliant to minimum health standards and protocols? But of course, with DepEd, I believe because you've already started your classes face to face, you have started to refit your facilities. And at the same time, retrofit rather your facilities and equipment for learning. Now we go further. For institutional management, okay, what are the good practices? Again, I got this from the roundtable discussion with the deans of teacher education institutions and some of my experience when I was still a principal of a basic education. Number one, if you are a manager of an institution, a leader of an institution, always remember this: no money, no operation. And that's the truth. Hindi sa nagmumukha tayong pera, pero totoo, kailangan natin ng pera para patakbuhin ang ating mga paaralan. Kaya kinakailangan as school leaders, you have to have the skill of financial responsibility. You have to have fiscal awareness and fiscal authority. And if you have the fiscal authority, please be transparent enough to make sure that the funds are being utilized according to where they are allocated. Okay? Sa DepEd, yung mga MOOE ninyo, ayusin natin ang paggamit dyan. The question is with DepEd for SBM, especially institutional management, how come that DepEd regional office and the national office of DepEd issued a memorandum, if I'm not mistaken, telling that solicitation is not allowed during Brigada Eskwela. Pero bakit may mga nagsusolicit pa rin ng finances? So, may MOOE naman daw sila. Kaya ang ginawa ng DepEd ay kung manghihingi man sa mga stakeholders, voluntary, as much as possible in kind, or service ang ibigay during the Brigada Eskwela. So, ang tanong namin doon, asaan yung financial ability ng school leader, bakit nagkaroon ng solicitation samantalang may MOOE? Okay, so that's one. But looking at the positive side, kasi positive yung binigay sa ating Sir Virgo, good practices of schools, kailangan ay aware tayo, maging responsable sila sa tayo no, sa paggastos ng pondo ng school. And that is what I saw also. There's a responsible fiscal authority among our teacher education institutions. Number two, the concept of leadership is now changed to the concept of stewardship and now to servant leadership. Okay, what do we mean by this? The leadership, stewardship, servant leadership principle. What is this practice in our teacher education institutions in the region? Hindi na ho sila naniniwala, sabi nga ho kanina ng ating Sir Josh kanina sa kanyang discussion, hindi ho sila mga Diyos. We as school leaders are not gods and goddesses of our own institutions. So we have to be, our leaders should have a mindset that of a servant. How can we serve our schools? How can we put the welfare and the interests of our institution heavier than our personal interest? And I appreciate our deans and program heads in Region 1, especially in College of Teacher Education, because I have seen in them that they are not only administrators and managers, but also leaders. How do they do that? They believe, based on the roundtable discussion, that they are not deans forever. They believe that they will not be in their positions forever. So anong ginagawa nila? Meron silang ginawa na leadership transition plans. Pag ako bilang principal, pag ako bilang program head, pag ako bilang dean ay magre-retire na o hindi kaya ay matransfer sa ibang lugar, sino ang susunod sa akin? The best way to measure a leader is not only in the accomplishments na ginagawa niya. Given na yan eh. Kasi as a leader, as a school leader, it is expected that you perform well because you are the leader. But the real measure of the success of a leader is not only with the achievements that he has or he had, but also in how will the school run after his or her retirement. Right? I hope you're getting across. Okay? So, yun ang basihan no? ng pagiging isang magaling na leader. Yung pagkatapos mo, umalis ka man dahil may seminar kang pupuntahan, Sir Virgo went to Singapore and Malaysia, but he is relaxed because he knows that the people who are left in the school can manage the institution even in his absence. Tatakbo ang institusyon na wala yung leader kasi tinuruan ng leader yung kanyang mga kasama to be leaders themselves. So that's the leadership transition plans. Next, it is important also na hindi lang tayo nakatuon sa kung ano nangyari sa kasalukuyan. our teacher education institutions are very proactive. They have started to strategize plans. What are we going to do for the next 5 years? Where will we be for the next 10 years? Let us have a futuristic thinking, future strategy, strategic thinking. How can we manage the future? Hindi natin inakala na magkakaroon tayo ng separation of PE and music and art subjects. Ngayon, hiwalay na. So there might be the possibility na baka one of the majors of teacher education would be BSE major in robotics, for example, or BSE major in financial management. So in other words, the innovation, innovation skills of our deans, of our leaders, educational leaders is also present. Now, this is also important. They have quality assurance mechanisms. Hindi nila kinocongratulate yung sarili nila. What do you mean by that? A quality teacher education institution does not congratulate itself, because if there are tarpaulins outside the school, they would not say congratulations to one Primitivo University from one Primitivo University. You do not do that. But quality assurance mechanisms would tell us that there are third parties, there are outsiders, there are outside organizations who would recognize the achievement of the institution. And how do our teacher education institutions do these quality assurance mechanisms? Number one, they engage themselves in internationalization activities. They have started to open wide their doors to the reality that we are now a borderless community, and that a teacher in Japan, in Vietnam, can teach in the Philippines virtually. The presence of visiting professors from the Philippines going to the United States, going to Canada, going to Europe, and foreign professors being invited to teach in Philippine institutions, transnational education. You see, that's very, very wonderful. And also, this is important. Our teacher education institutions are not all, but a quite good number have engaged themselves in accreditation. Sir Diego, I'm sorry, I'm 28 minutes. Give me a few more time because I will be discussing some important topics in the other areas of management. Second is on curriculum management. Right. All right. There, for curriculum management, what is this curriculum management all about? Now, curriculum management is very broad. It would take us a semester to discuss this. But how do our schools, allow me now to use the term school because majority of our participants are from the basic ed. Now, going back, what are our schools doing in terms of curriculum management? Number one, in Region 1, they are compliant with the minimum standards. It should be with typographical error. Compliance with the minimum requirements of teacher education policy standards and guidelines along the following. Number one, they are enriching the curriculum. If the total number of curriculum for BE Ed, for example, is 152, we can allow additional of 18 or 21 more units for the institution to add other courses, which the institution believes would make their graduates at par compared to other graduates of other teacher education institutions. They include subjects relevant to the institutional goals, undergraduate attributes. Like, for example, now we have started to introduce the teaching of beginning reading. It's a program of the Department of Education, and we supported that in CHED. That's why some of our TEIs have integrated the teaching of beginning reading in the curriculum so that our would-be teachers would be able to teach well. Kasi ang sakit-sakit pa rin, no? Ilang taon na, parang boyfriend lang tsaka girlfriend nag-break. Nag-break tayo noong 2018 pero ngayon nandun ko pa rin yung sakit. Nung sinabi mo sa akin na ang baba ng performance ng Pilipinas sa reading, sa mathematics at science, as proven by the PISA results in 2018. Another thing is that good practice is that there is a partnership between our TEIs with depth ed schools for their off-campus teaching and field study courses. Itong pangalawa, importante ito. Responsible implementation of academic freedom. In fact, academic freedom is a little abused. Kasi sabihin ng teacher, ito gusto ko ituro ganito, ganyan, ganyan. But you have to be guided by Article 14 of the 1987 Constitution kasi nandoon na sa atin ang academic freedom. what to teach, how to teach it, when to teach it, etc., etc. But you have to abide by the principle of there is no such thing as absolute freedom. So that's if I will discuss academic freedom, that will be too long for all of us. And then etong maganda, pinapadala po ng mga ibang teacher education institutions ang kanilang mga practice teachers abroad to do their teaching internship. They have what we call the CTVET program. We have state universities in the region before the pandemic who are sending their practice teachers in Thailand, in Vietnam, in Indonesia, in Malaysia to do the practice teaching. So, ang maganda doon po, nagustuhan sila ng school na pinagturuan nila sa ibang bansa. After graduation, pinapabalik sila doon kasi na-hire sila. Medyo may kurot sa akin yon. Ano yung kurot sa akin? Kasi minsan or kadalasan, yung mga magagaling na estudyante natin ay napupunta na abroad kasi they are, sabi ko nga sa isang video ko, the teaching profession is not too enticing because of salaries and benefits. So, wake up call yon so, sa pamahalaan natin. Okay, before I go to the next, sa chat lang, pakisagot ko ito. Of all the areas in school management, ano pong pinaka-importante? What is the most important resource in an organization? Yeah, brain drain, that's correct. Tama po, the brain drain sila and abuse talaga academic freedom. I'm looking at the group chat now. Makita ko ng 2-3 sagot, okay na ako. What is the most important resource in an organization? Tingnan natin. What is the most important resource in the organization? Nako, sige, walang sumasagot. So, ako nang sasagot. Ayan, thank you very much po. Ang sumagot, sabi ko ng ating kasama teacher na TV Nadsal Sedo, human. Sabi ko ni Ma'am Dayan, money and time. Sabi ko ni Sir Virgo, human resource. I beg to disagree. I beg to disagree. It's correct. We just have to be too specific. The most important resource is not human resource. The most important resource is the right human resource. According to a book written by Jim Collins entitled Good to Great, I hope you can read that one time. Sabi niya dito, people are not your most important resource. The right people are. Because even if you have a lot of people in the organization, if they are not the right people for the job, you are just wasting the resources of your organization. Ang dami-dami mong empleyado pero duplicate yung trabaho nila. Kaya nangyayari, may tumatamad, may nagkatambay na lang kasi may gagawa naman eh. Pareho naman kami ng term of reference sa trabaho namin. So yun ang problema. But putting the right people would save the institution, would save the organization from a lot of wastage. Not only in terms of financial resources, but also in the physical resources that we have. Okay, so ako, para sabihin ko, mapasabi ko na magaling yung school alliance sa number of employees. It's not the quantity, but the quality of human resource that we have. Again, I would agree with Jim Collins. It is not the people who are the most important resource, but the right people are. With this premise, allow me to go to the next slide. Ayan, bilisan ko na kasi nahiya na ako sa inyo. On human resource, ito po yung napansin natin sa ating regional teacher education institutions. Number 1, they hire qualified teaching personnel according to the demands of the policy standards and guidelines of the teacher education program. Ano yung requirement? At least MA degree holder in education and allied fields. Ano pa? Pinapadala yung kanilang mga faculty members for graduate education scholarships. In fact, CHED gives CCAP, no? Pero kaming scholarship para sa ating mga teaching and non-teaching staff. Pinag-aaral sila ng CHED. Nag-close na yung nag-close na yung application. Pero ang marites ko sa inyo, na totoong marites ay pag merong mga empleyado ang isang college or university na hindi pa master's degree, pag grantee siya ng CCAP, qualified CCAP grantee siya, master's level, makakatanggap siya ng 35,000 monthly na allowance. Hindi pa kasama doon yung travel allowance, hindi pa kasama doon yung tuition fee niya, hindi pa kasama doon yung libro niya, hindi pa kasama doon yung ibang pwede pa niyang i-reimburse. Mag-aaral ka na nga, bibigyan ka pa ng pera para mag-aral. Pag doctoral naman, I think it's 50,000 pesos monthly hanggang sa matapos mo yung iyong doctoral degree. Dissertation allowance of not less than 100,000 pesos out of reimbursement. So, meron yun sa CHED. Pero pang higher ed lang po, pang colleges and universities lang for both teaching and non-teaching staff. Next, There is research mentoring and publication assistance for faculty members. Hindi lang dapat turo ng turo ang teacher. Dapat marunong siya mag-research. Kaya kung sa inyo sa DepEd, ako ay isa sa evaluators ng yung birth ng DepEd sa region. Meron silang action research na ginagawa. Our duty is not only to teach, it is also our duty to hello po from Oman. It is not only our duty to teach but also to make researches. Sabi ko kanina, one cannot give what one does not have. For you to be able to nurture others, you should nurture yourself first. For you to be able to be a facilitator of learning, you should be a learner because there is such thing as a lifelong learning. All right. Next, they empower their faculty members through various leadership roles. Ang problema ganito, ang issue lang ganito. Magaling yung teacher magturo. Pag yung teacher magaling, huwag yung agad-agad bibigyan ng leadership role. Bakit? Ang mangyayari dyan, uhugutin niyo siya sa pagtuturo, sa instruction, tapos ilalagay niyo siya sa school administration na walan kayo ng isang magaling na teacher. Totoo ito ha, hindi ho lahat ng mga galing na teachers ay pwedeng maging magaling na school administrator. Sapagkat ang pagiging isang magaling na school administrator, pinag-aaralan din po yan. Hindi po yan nakukuha overnight. Okay? Ang sikap ba para sa teacher? Yes po, ang sikap ay para sa teacher na natuturo sa college, part-time or full-time faculty man po. Unfortunately, nagsara ko yung ating application noong September 30. But may next time ulit. Okay, I'll answer questions later. Next is providing incentives for meritorious achievement of teachers. Pag nakagawa ng research, meron silang binibigay na cash gift sa teacher na nakagawa ng research, nakagawa ng action plan, etc. And then consideration of creation of faculty development program and transition plan, yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina. And then consideration of motivational factors in faculty performance. So Vigo, please forgive me, I'll try to make it fast. Okay, here, I would like to introduce to you in brief some of the concepts that we need to understand in terms of human resource, particularly in employee performance. Employee performance, you have to ask this: are our employees really able to do the job? Can our employees do it? Second question that we have to ask is, are they motivated to do the task at hand? All right. As I have said, magaling kang magturo, pero hindi ibig sabihin nun na pwede ka agad na maging leader. Pag-aralan mo muna yun. So, second question is, ano ang kumbaga sa commercial ng Nescafe, para kanino ka bumabangon? What motivates you to do your job? Next question that I have to ask is this: in terms of the work environment, the work ecosphere, is the organization supportive? These three things, ability, environment, and motivation, affect employee performance. Bakit po magbibigay ako ng focus sa human resource? Kasi sabi nga natin, the right people, the right human resource is the most important resource in an organization. So, maski may magaling kang leader, kung hindi magandang pag-handle mo ng mga employees mo, it's useless. The measure, again, of a good leader is when there are people who believe and follow his lead or her lead. Now, moving forward, ability. Ito ho yung mga skills na dapat meron tayo as school managers. And teacher education institutions, our deans and our college instructors should have this. I want to discuss this in total or one by one. From here, how would we see whether our employees have these skills? Sa selection process pa lang, tinitingnan na natin sila. Sa interview, sa demo teaching, sa kanilang mga transcripts, sa kanilang mga papers, nakikita na natin ano ang strength at weakness ng ating mga empleyado. And from there, we coach them, we mentor them. Because as we have said, learning happens not overnight. Skills can be learned. If there is such thing as a mediocre teacher, I believe that through inspiration and good examples, we can help a mediocre teacher become the best teacher in our organization. Next is on employee motivation. Okay, alam natin to, what motivation is. It is that drives us to act or propels us to move. It could be intrinsic and extrinsic. Now, for our graduate school students, please take note of the theories that I will be sharing to you in passing. Magagamit nyo to later sa theoretical framework. So I'll share this to you in 2 minutes. Okay, I'll be sharing to you theories on needs, on organization and leadership, on goals and expectancy, and on learned behaviors. Okay, una, tingnan natin yung Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Alam na alam natin ito lahat. So, pagdating sa motivation, pag meron tayong isang kasama na hindi well motivated, tingnan lang natin, bakit siya mahina ngayon? Bakit parang matamlay siya? Hindi siya energetic magturo, baka gutom. Okay? As simple as that. So, kailangan masatisfy yung pinakababa para yung taas papuntang apex, papuntang self-actualization ay maganda ang nangyayari. So, kapag hindi ito na sabi nga natin, pag-aralan natin ito sa education, tayo nag-aaral pa, pag hindi well satisfied ang physiological needs natin, magkakaroon tayo ng issues pagdating sa safety, belongingness, sa esteem hanggang sa self-actualization. The next theory is something to do with this one, Herzberg's two-factor principles of motivation. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Yung una, they are satisfied because of these motivator factors. So, andyan. Si Jobs, dissatisfaction, hygiene factors, hindi lang ibig sabihin na hygiene yung kalinisan, but also with the quality of your supervisors, with the terms of your wages. Assignment ito, PhD students, basahin niya kasi di pa i-discuss because of lack of time. Next, meron din akong introduce sa inyo yung McClelland's 3 needs theory. Sabi ni McClelland, meron tatlo tayong needs. We all have 3 needs, innate needs in all of us. We have the need for affiliation, we have the need for achievement, and the need for power. Isa sa tatlong ito ang magiging dominant sa atin. The need for power, these are people who love leadership positions, who exhibit leadership skills. The need for achievement is people are always in hunger for recognition. Sorry for the term hunger. Need for affiliation, they have always a strong sense of belongingness. Isa out of the 3 will be our dominant power, according to McClelland. So, based on the type of leaders that you have in your schools, tingnan natin, sa ano kaya ang dominant doon sa school leader natin na characteristic niya according to McClelland. But there should be a fusion between the 3 and all should be balanced. Okay? The next is, in terms of human resource, importante pa rin, maalala natin yung theory X at saka theory Y ni McGregor. Why? Because according to this theory, theory X believes na ito bang mga empleyado natin ay parang madalas puro liabilities sila. Pag yun ang thinking mo, you cannot put your organization forward if you always think of your employees as liabilities. But for theory Y, they believe that if you can empower your faculty members, your colleagues, then you are creating leaders. Leaders created by a leader. So di ba ang ganda yung may susunod sa'yo pag alis mo sa position. Next is Chris Algeris's maturity continuum. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Itong theory na to, motivation ng human resource management, tells us from the negative to the positive. We try to transform the negative traits and attributes to maturity dimensions. We provide activities and experiences for our teachers to have a shift from a pessimistic attitude to an optimistic one. Next, we have also lot goals setting theory. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ang gusto sabihin lang ni Edwin Lack ay ganito. Mamomotivate tayo na magtrabaho pag maliwanag ang ating gagawin, pag merong collaboration. The 3 C's in human resource management. There should be collaboration, there should be critical thinking, and there should be communication. Okay? Next, we go to Vroom's expectancy theory. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ang ibig sabihin lang nito ay mag-e-effort ako kasi may ina-expect akong reward. And that is true. How can we motivate our human resource to perform well? Give them rewards for a job well done. And that would motivate them to work. Pero natin sanayin na parating monetary. No? There are other incentives that we can do in terms of recognition, certificates, or a simple treat, a simple, halika, libre kita ng kape kasi ang ganda ng ginawa mo kanina. The affective domain is given importance. Next is on Adam's equity. This is the last theory I'll be sharing to you. Adam's equity theory. Ano ang mangyayari dito? Kailangan merong balance between your input at saka output. Ang mahirap po dito, may mga leaders tayo na favoritism. So ang mangyayari dyan, may mga magagaling tayong empleyado na maaaring hindi na sila mag-perform ng maayos. Last year, you performed well. Bakit parang this year, di siya masyado na-perform? Kasi nakakitaan niya na may problema ang management. There's a problem with how managers treat their employees. Pag ako na-late, kaltas agad sa trabaho, sa sweldo. Pag siya na-late, okay lang. Pag ako na-late ng report, ako may memo agad. Pag siya, pagsasabihan lang. So, that is a little problematic. Sabi dito, please allow me to read you verbatimly. People become demotivated, reduce input and or seek change or improvement whether they feel their inputs are not being fairly rewarded. Fairness is based on perceived market norms. So, ano ba talaga? There should be clear-cut policies according to Adams' equity theory. And the theories I presented to you affect much our human resource. Okay, so last few slides, let's go to physical plant and facilities. The good practices that we see in Region 1 is that our classrooms are conducive for learning. Our campuses are clean, clear, and conducive also. There are gadgets, there are technology integration and utilization, not only integration, but also utilization in the classes. And they are using technology and pedagogical approaches and strategies. Also, our colleges and universities have started to transform their campuses into a smart campus. Anong ibig sabihin ng smart campus? Meron na silang Internet of Things. Hindi na siya biometrics sa kamay. Space scan na. E-libraries are there. The online platforms are there. E-laboratories are there. Online facilities are there, etc., etc. So, physical plant facilities still online resources. The quality of online resources also affect the quality of student performance and faculty or employee performance. Okay, so yan ang aking ginawang framework para maalala ninyo. Meron mang isa dito na magkaroon tayo ng problema, damay itong lahat. Okay? In other words, parang pillars yan, 4 na haligi. Umuho yung isang haligi, affected yung tatlo. Yung bigat, the weight, would be given to the 3 pillars, hindi kakayanin, mababawasan isa, and the institution would crumble if you would not use and do our roles and responsibilities in our institutions. Finally, last 2 slides. The question here is this: are you a boss or a leader? Are you a boss or a leader? It is important. There's a difference between the two. If you are a boss, sabi nga kanina ng ating first speaker, hindi ka dapat lang yung yung tinitingala lang, no? The respect that you have is out of they respect you because they follow you because of respect out of love, not respect out of fear. So this is the difference between a boss and a leader. It's up to you to read it in the interest of time, but this is actually a poem by William J. Stewart. And with that, I would like to thank everyone for listening in my 49 minutes of sharing. Thank you so much. I'm ready to answer questions if there are.
Thank you so much, sir, for those timely and relevant information you have shared. So we are now ready for the questions to be given to our resource speaker. Quiet po yata yung ating chat box at the moment.
Ma'am Donna, meron po ditong questions. I'll just read lang po.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Po kanina. Sir, may question po from Sir Jonathan Bonaobra. Sir, is there a leadership management coaching program for teachers being given leadership roles? Who provides it and where to enroll?
Thank you very much, Pona, for that question. Honestly, there is no established training. I would challenge Dr. Virgo Lopez to take the lead. Baka naman, sir, baka naman pwedeng i-partner ko ang we can. If you want po, that's a very good question. In fact, I'm very appreciative of that. I will be working with Pan Pacific University, in particular with Dr. Virgo and Dr. Pasod. Let's try to establish nga, Sir Virgo, an executive training for teacher education leaders by 2023. We will sit together over a cup of coffee, and our assignment po dun sa tanong ay we will create an executive training for teachers, teacher leaders. That's a promise. Sir Virgo.
We accept the challenge po, Dr. JP.
Thank you. And I will not open it to other schools. So ikaw na pinartner, sir, ito. Sa Pan Pacific, kung partner activity. Thank you.
Well noted po. Thank you po.
So that would be so exciting, sir. Okay, so let me just read some comments from our professor, Sir Virgo. Mediocre teachers can be better and best with inspiration from education leaders. Okay. From Sir Jonathan, we can also include our upskilling the digital skills from our teacher development program. Sabi naman po ni Sir Ben, real motivation really plays important role to teachers' productivity. Yes, very true. May nagtanong po, hi sir, okay lang po ba mag-ask ng donation sa philanthropist?
Oo naman, philanthropist siya, okay lang. Ang problema doon. Ang naging kasi, I think the question evolved because of the statement a while ago on MOOE ng Brigada Eskwela kasi maraming nag-solicit talaga. Pero kung magbibigay naman sila ng bukal sa loob nila, tanggapin natin dahil para naman sa eskwelahan. Wag lang yung darating tayo sa coercion para lang magbigay yung mga taong hihingian.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Right, so ayan. Sabi po ni Sir Virgo, we will commit to collaborate to establish the executive program for trainings of teachers to become leaders. With that po, wala na pong tanong, sir. Thank you so much po, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I
Ma'am
wish
Donna?
you a successful activity.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much also for reminding us that the most important resource is the right human resource and that leaders can make even the mediocre teachers the best teachers with good management. So at this juncture, we now come to the awarding of certificate to our resources speaker. Allow me to read the text. Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Dr. Juan Primitivo P. Petrola in grateful appreciation of the information and inspiration shared as a resources speaker to the graduate school webinar titled Walk the Talk, Translating Theories into Practice Towards a Future-Proof School-Based Management, held on November 5, 2022 via Zoom platform. Given this 5th day of November 2022 at Pan Pacific University, Urdaneta City, Pangasinan. Signed, Dr. Virgo C. Lopez, Vice Chancellor Academics, Dr. Carl E. Balita, Director, Executive Education, and Dr. Engelbert C. Pasag, Dean, Graduate School. Sir, may we also have an opportunity for a photo? Yeah, and please say teach. Okay, thank you, sir, once again. To showcase the SPM's best practices of education champion, please welcome the Principal 3 of Nagilian Senior High School, Mrs. Claire P. Polanco.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ma'am Donna, for presenting me. I heard already?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. So a pleasant and wonderful morning to each and everyone. How are you? I hope you are all feeling great today. First of all, I would like to take this time to say thank you to Pan Pacific University for this great opportunity in sharing the best practices of our school later on, and thank you also for Sir Wilhelm Francis Saldo for inviting me to have this topic this morning with all of you. Okay, so this morning I am going to share to you how we work together, how we work harmoniously, and how we attain successes in Nagilian Senior High School. Okay? So I am humbly to share to you our practices, our good practices along school-based management. So this is it. Actually, all of the activities, the programs, the projects of our school all schools in the division of La Union, DepEd division of La Union, are all aligned or aligned to the division mantra or the La Union Schools division mantra, which is the chorus of our Lusdo hymn, our LUSD hymn. And it goes this way: the excellence we profess. Yes, we in all that we do, we always do it with excellence. We cultivate care. We show care to everyone, most particularly to our learners. The love we share to everyone also. We embrace kindness, and we live all of this. We live in humility. Yan. Yan ang nasa chorus ng aming Lusduhim. At yan ang motivation ng bawat school. Yan ang motivation ng Nagilian Senior High School in achieving, in attaining all our plans. Okay. So, as what I have said, I'll be sharing to you our good practices in the school, and I'll be showing this along the 4 areas of the school-based management. So they are, first, the leadership and governance; second, the curriculum and learning; third, accountability and continuous improvement; and then the last area in SBM is the management of resources. Pumili na lang ako ng mangilan-ngilan, 3, 4, mga ganyan na lang, na mga practices ng school namin. Okay, so let's take the first area, the leadership and governance. One practice of the school is the School Operational Learning Continuity Plan, or the SOLCP, is developed collaboratively by the internal and external stakeholders and share responsibility in accomplishing the identified programs, projects, and activities. Now, baka sabihin nyo, ano ba itong SOLCP na sinasabi ni Ma'am Claire? Actually, itong SOLCP na ito is named by no other than our superintendent of the La Union Schools Division, Attorney Donato D. Valderas Jr. This is in line with the BELCP of the DepEd Central Office. And this was cascaded in the field when COVID-19 struck our country, struck the world. Lumabas yan kasi that's the order of the president na hindi dapat tumigil ang edukasyon. Ayun din ang sinabi ng the former DepEd secretary. Kaya nilabas nila ito, and sa division, so everyone will own it, everyone will take responsibility, not just me, the school head, not with the teaching and non-teaching, but everybody, all other stakeholders of the school. So our superintendent named it the SOLCP, or the School Operational Learning Continuity Plan, where we crafted that with both the internal and external stakeholders of the school. Yan. So another practice along that area, along the first area, is varied channels of communication established in the school that allows easy exchange and access to information sources beyond the school community, and provides information for making decisions in solving learning and administrative problems. Now, what are these varied channels? Siyempre, ito yung they are the meetings, the forums, what else? The consultative conferences, summits, and during when the pandemic started and until now, we maximize the use of social media, like the Facebook page. We do have Facebook page, the official Facebook page of the school, the email address of the school also, and the messenger app. Yan. Those are the varied channels of communication established in the school. So everyone would reach us and we also could reach everyone, particularly the learners and the parents of Nagilian Senior High School. Okay, so that's it. That's the second practice along the first area of SBM. The third one, we in the school conducted training and development. No, the develop training and development needs of the personnel, like the learning action cell sessions, the capability building activities, and the like. We really conduct monthly learning action cell sessions with the timely topics. It depends on the result of the training needs assessment of the personnel, both teaching and non-teaching of the school. Yan. So along training and development, learning and development needs of the personnel. Okay. So that's another practice in the school. Moving on. Let's proceed to the second area of school-based management, and that is the curriculum and learning. Now, I guess I included three good practices of the school along this area. The first practice is the blended distance learning mode is used during the pandemic to provide the development needs of all types of learners in the community. Kung mapansin ninyo, mula sa unang area, leadership and governance, panay during the pandemic yung present ko, sinishare ko sa inyo. Kasi actually, Nagilian Senior High School is my second school assignment since I was promoted as a school head. It is my second school assignment, and I was assigned there when pandemic started. Second year of pandemic. February 2021. That's why almost all of the programs, projects, and activities, good practices that we are having in the school, halos ganun lahat yung sinishare ko sa inyo ngayon. No? Kasi 2021 lang ako na-assign sa Nagilian Senior High School. Again, I'll repeat, the first practice, along curriculum and learning, blended distance learning mode is used during the pandemic to provide the development needs of all types of learners in the community. Yan kasi ang utos, there should be no learner left behind, in all the schools across the country. So we use this to those learners who have gadgets and access to internet at their respective homes. We use the online synchronous and asynchronous learning, but to those learners who have no access, who have no gadget at all, then we provide them the printed material. So they will continue learning at their houses, at their homes, with their learning facilitators at home. May it be their parents, their brothers and sisters, or other members, other members of the family that could help them on their learning sessions, learning activities at home. So that's the blended distance learning. Okay, another one. Wala ako. Okay, another one, another good practice along curriculum and learning, the conduct of regular parent-teacher conferences for reporting the performances of learners and the achievements of the school in ensuring the holistic growth and development of the learners. Okay. Of all the external stakeholders of the school, the parents are the number one external stakeholder. Yeah. The parents of the learners. That's why in the school, we regularly meet them. We regularly call them for conferences. Even during the pandemic, we tried actually online meetings with them, and we call them in the school. We regularly call them in the school with, of course, strict adherence to minimum health and safety standards nang hindi naman tayo banatan ng national and local IATF people we strictly adhere to those protocols naman whenever we call parents in the school, but we really do that to report the performances of their children who happen to be our learners. Yun lang, during the pandemic, ang concern lang dito, ang isang issue dito ay sige, later on yon when we go to the results of the exams of the learners. Yan, conduct of regular parent-teacher conferences. Okay, another one. Aside from conducting regular parent-teacher conference, ito yung sinasabi ko, advance ko. The formative, another good practice along this area, the formative and summative assessments are continuously reviewed and improved, and results are contextualized to the learner and local situations and to guide learners in the attainment of the relevant life skills. Yes, yan. Wala mga formative and summative assessments even before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and even after now that we are under the recovery stage of that certain area of our lives. Meron pa rin yan, the formative and summative assessment. Bagamat, sabi ko nga kanina, during the pandemic, medyo ang issue dito ay yung integrity, the validity of the results of the exams, and the honesty issue over the results of the exams. But anyway, still the teachers need to analyze the result, come up with that item analysis, and use that for interventions when needed. Okay, so that's along curriculum and learning. Next. Still under curriculum and learning, another good practice of the Negilian Senior High School, the administrators, the staff in the school, isa lang ang administrator, yours truly, the school head, and we do have 2 non-teaching staff, our AO and the registrar, the same time the guidance designate, and then of course the teachers, 21 teachers, and the community members help one another in nurturing values and also the environments that are protective to all learners and demonstrate behaviors consistent to the organization's vision, mission, and goals. Dito, yung walang kamatayang kasabihan na lagi nating naririnig during conferences, especially during Brigada Eskwela month, na it takes a village to educate a child. Totoo yan. Hindi yan kakayanin lang ng the staff, the administrator of the school, the parents. Hindi yan kakayanin lang. Kailangan natin ng mga other external stakeholders to help us attain our goals in order for us to implement successfully our programs, projects, and activities. Sir? Ayan. Tulong-tulong yan, lahat ng stakeholders ng school. Okay. Speaking of Brigada Eskwela, yung picture na na-present, those are the activities taken during the Brigada Eskwela month of the school. Maraming mga volunteers and donors. Nabanggit kanina, may nagtanong kanina. Actually, nito mayroon tayong natanggap na memo tayo ng mga nasa DepEd, my fellow participants on the Zoom meeting na nasa DepEd, mayroon tayong natanggap na memo na pinagbabawalan tayong mag-solicit, especially during the Brigada Eskwela. True. Oo, true. Bawal mag-solicit. Pero kung yung tao naman mismo ang lalapit sa atin na magbibigay ng kanyang tulong, magbibigay ng kanyang donasyon sa school, para sa mga bata, para sa school, bakit hindi natin tanggapin? Siyempre, maluwag sa puso nating tatanggapin yan. Magpapasalamat tayo ng malaki sa kanila. At yan ang nangyari sa school, hindi kami, hindi kami humingi, pero sila yung kusang lumapit. Kasi we just presented the situation, mga ganyan. Konting kwento-kwento pero hindi namin tawag dito, sinabi na humihingi kami, but sila mismo yung nagpusa na nagbigay ng kanilang mga tulong. Ang resulta, medyo madami-dami kaming nagawang mga projects, out of their help, of their support, of their donations, and of course the volunteers, ayan, we won. We won as we are one of the finalists in the search for the best Brigada implementer last year 2021, and we even awarded as the most prepared school along medium school category in the division of La Union for the year 2021. So tingnan nyo, that's how volunteerism makes work happen. Yan, volunteerism, cooperation, mga ganyan. Teamwork, okay? So ganun lang naman when it comes to Brigada Eskwela. Tulong-tulong lang, no? Of course through the initiative of the school personnel pa rin. Ayan, yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina, we won as the most prepared school along medium school category in the division of La Union during the Brigada Eskwela Math 2021. Okay, so that's it. Another one, so that's the Brigada Eskwela. Here naman, in the student development programs, the student government organization of the school is very active. The advisor and the members are very active. They mean business. They really planned. They really planned the activities to be undertaken during that school year 2021, last school year 2021-2022, and they attained all their plans. No, they implemented all their plans, their programs, the activities. No, but with the support, of course, of the administration and all the staff. Ayan, the result, sabi ng first speaker natin kanina, kailangan ng resulta. Ito yung resulta, no? Ito yung naging resulta. The Nagilian Senior High School bag second place in the medium school category during the search for the most outstanding supreme student government organization for the school year 2021-2022. So yan yung mga resulta na nakukuha ng school, no? Okay, so that's it. Now, let's go to the staff development naman, no? Along staff development, yan yung picture namin yan during the Pamadayaw 2021, ano. Another one picture, I guess, Sir Wilhelm, meron pa tayong sagad, along staff development naman, ano. Sa gender and development, is that, I guess, along curriculum and learning pa rin yan. Ayan, that's the Gawad Silang, o the Gawad Silang, ano, staff development naman yan sa gender and development. Also, the GAD coordinator of the school, together with the team, work hard, and the result, again, parang pang second place last year ang Nagilian Senior High School, ano, second place on the Gawad Silang for best gender and development implementer in the division of La Union. So that's it for the curriculum and learning. Third area of SBM, the accountability and continuous improvement. Okay, here there are 3 good practices of the school along accountability and continuous improvement. The roles and responsibilities of accountable persons and collective bodies are clearly defined and agreed upon by community stakeholders. The SGC, the Parents Teachers Association, the Faculty and Employees Association, the Bids and Awards Committee were all organized. So these organizations, the members of these organizations will work together in attaining the school's vision, mission, and goals, of course. Okay. Another good practice along this area of SBM is achievement of goals is based on a collaboratively developed performance accountability system like the OPCRF, IPCRF, DepEd people, fellow participants on this meeting na DepEd people, alam natin ito, OPCRF, IPCRF, the school report card, accomplishment reports, and the praise or the committee or group in charge of rewards. Ayan, and samples. Along that, in line with that, ayan ang isa nating one of the learners of this subject, ano, na nanguna sa activity natin ngayon. Our very own master teacher, ang nag-iisang master teacher ng Nagilian Senior High School, pero katumbas yata niya ang 10 mga master teachers pagdating sa trabaho at sa galing. Kaya naman ang resulta, yan, resulta, no? He was chosen, selected as the most outstanding, highly proficient teacher in the Nagilian cluster last year, ano, and one of the nominees for the division search of most outstanding, highly proficient teacher in the division at the same time in the province of La Union. No? Okay, and we are looking forward that next year he will get it. Okay, and we are claiming that. Sige. Another one, we also give recognition. Sabi kayo na, magbigay ng recognition, ng reward. We do give recognition to those teachers with highest IPCRF rating. Yan, nitong Teachers Day celebration namin, 5. Kung di ako nagkakamali, yung nabigyan ng mga nakakuha ng 4.90 to 5.00 na rating sa kanilang IPCRF. That's how we give them rewards. That's how we recognize them with their excellent performances. Okay? So, ayan, ito pala yung sinabi ko kayo, nandito pala yung gawad silang kanina, ano, na sagad naman yan, gender and development, wherein we won 2nd place during the awarding 2022. And the last area along school-based management, the management of resources, I included 3 good practices of the school. Regular updating of inventory of school resources, kailangan yan. And second one, updated MOE liquidation report and school financial reports in all activities. Just to share to everyone, ano, ito yung isang, sabihin nating secret, no, ng maingat na school head. Huwag kang humawak ng pera ng school. At yan ang ginagawa ko, hindi ako humahawak ng pera ng school. May it be MOE, may it be donation, may it be from other sources, government or non-government sources, hindi ako mahawak ng pera. Mainit ang pera, kaya ayokong hawakan. Okay, ayokong magkasala dyan. Maraming tukso dyan. Yan yata ang isang sikreto ng school head, ng principal na magtatagal sa serbisyo ng walang kaso pag nag-retire siya. Okay? Sige, wag na natin i-disclose yan. Lastly, strengthened and sustained partnerships for improving resource management. Okay, so those are the good practices of Nagilian Senior High School along school-based management. Narinig nyo, palaging ginagamit ko kami, we, kasi I cannot do this alone. We cannot do this alone with the personnel of the school. We need, sabi ko nga, other stakeholders, both the works of internal and external stakeholders of the school, na attain namin yung mga successes na i-share ko sa inyo. Okay? And lastly, just want to share you this quotation from Mother Teresa. Ayan. I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. Together, we can do great things. Kailangan natin ang isa't isa. Kailangan namin ang isa't isa so we could do great things in Nagilian Senior High School. So, thank you so much for listening. I hope may napulot kayo sa mga na-share kong mga good practices ng school. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you, Ma'am Pulangco. Napakarami po. Thank you for sharing your best practices in your school. Keep on shining, soaring, and inspiring po. It is indeed important to consider the importance of stakeholders, volunteerism, and teamwork in school operations. And it's also our privilege na classmate po namin ang most outstanding teacher in the Division of La Union. Sir Wilhelm Sabado. Congratulations po. So at this point, we are now proceeding to the question and answer portion and also reactions from our participants to be facilitated by Sir Romel. Sir?
All right, so let me read po, ma'am, the comments from our participants. Ayan. So sabi po ni Sir Virgo, volunteerism and teamwork make the dream work in Brigada Eskwela. That's very true. Congratulations for the great job done, madam. The involvement of student leaders and proactive implementation of strategic plans with the full support of the school administration facilitates goal achievement. That's also true. Okay? Good morning, yan po. And the school head, the principal should not handle money. Thank you so much po. I have learned a lot from first speaker to the last speaker. Hello, Ma'am Claire. Ito po yung question, ma'am. Hello, Ma'am Claire. What managerial or leadership skills would you like to share to young aspiring leaders of today?
Okay, skills ng isang manager, actually, just have a heart, to everyone. I need leaders need to feel what the people in the organizations are feeling. Yun lang yung puso lang talaga. Yung skills, yung galing, yung talino, yung knowledge, susunod na yan. Kailangan mo nang mahalin muna, gaya na nabanggit ko sa mga naunang slides namin na ko kanina, yun muna ang kailangan, the love, the care, the kindness. Yun muna ang kailangan ng isang leader para sa ganon mapasunod niya yung kanyang mga subordinates or the people of the organization. Okay?
All right, thank you, ma'am. So sabi ni Ma'am Claire, if you have the heart in leadership, everything follows. At dahil dyan, participants, pusuan po natin si ma'am. Please click the heart reaction button para po kay Ma'am Claire. Ayan. All right. So yan, gising pa ba po ba tayo dyan? So next question po, ma'am. So sabi po dito, question from Sir Benril. What best advice can you give to SBM coordinators who are looking towards an outstanding SBM?
Advice, sir. Advice ano?
Yes,
for the SBM coordinators.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the SBM coordinator should be a worker first. Should be a worker. He or she should be the number one personnel in the school working in the different programs, projects, and activities of the school. Pag ikaw na coordinator, nakikita ka na ikaw ang nauuna na nagtatrabaho in all the PPAs of the school, pasasaan ba't kahit yung mga sabihin nating medyo patamad-tamad or pa-observe lang ng mga kapwa mo, personnel or staff ng school, gagalaw at gagalaw yan kasi mahihiya sila sa'yo. Kasi ikaw mismo na coordinator, ikaw mismo na leader ay gumagalaw, sila pa kaya. Yun lang, ikaw ang dapat maunang nagtatrabaho, the first one to work, to act in all the PPAs of the school. So all the activities will become successful. Yun ang maibibigay kong advice sa mga coordinators.
Yun. So thank you for that, ma'am. So we sabi nga ng ating webinar, no, we walk our talk. Okay? We lead by example. So thank you for that, ma'am. So ako po, I would like to ask ma'am, no, obviously naman po nakita po namin how successful your school is. So with all the achievements po na na-receive po ninyo and with all the best practices po na shinare niyo po sa amin this morning, what do you think, ma'am, is the key po of your leadership kung bakit niyo po na-attain po yung mga successes po ninyo na yan?
Yes, sir. I do believe na I gained their love. I gained their trust. I gained their confidence in me. They believe in me. So they supported me all the way. They helped me. No, they rendered their voluntary services. No, not just from the school personnel, but from all other stakeholders of the school. Again, I gained their love, I gained their trust, I gained they believe in me. Kaya na-attain namin yung mga yan. Kasi kung ako lang, sabi kahit gaano karami yung mga ideas dito sa utak ko, kahit gaano karami yung mga pinagsusulat ko sa mga action plans, sa mga kung ano-anong mga plans yan sa school, kung hindi naman yan may implement ng tama at walang suporta na manggagaling sa internal and external stakeholders, baliwala yung mga napakagagandang plano na yan. But if you win their trust, you win their confidence, you win their support and love, okay na yan, sigurado. Yun lang, sir.
Right. So thank you so much, ma'am. So I guess collaboration is the key. No? So thank you so much po, Ma'am Claire. Wala na pong tanong. I just see word of thanks po sa inyo ng mga participants. Thank you so much daw po, ma'am. And mukhang napakasarap niyo pong maging school head. Sana all po. Sana all. So thank you so much, Ma'am Claire. And congratulations po sa mga future endeavors po ng naging yan. Senior. Back to you, Ma'am Donna.
Yes. Thank you, Sir Romel. Thank you, Ma'am Claire. Sana all nga po mayroong mga school leaders like Ma'am Claire, and very lucky po yung mga subordinates in school niyo. Okay, so we now come to the awarding of certificate to our resource speaker. Let me read the citation. Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Ms. Claire P. Polanco in grateful appreciation of the information and inspiration shared as a resources speaker to the graduate school webinar titled Walk the Talk, Translating Theories into Practice Towards a Future-Proof School-Based Management, held on November 5, 2022 by a Zoom platform, given this 5th day of November 2022 at Pan Pacific University, Urdaneta City, Pangasinan. Signed, Dr. Virgo C. Lopez, Vice Chancellor Academics, Dr. Carl E. Balita, Director, Education, Executive Education, and Dr. Engelbert C. Pasag, Dean, Graduate School. Ma'am? Let us have a photo opportunity with one of the best school head in Pangasinan in Region 1. Paki-turn on po ang ating mga cameras. And let's say, Ma'am Claire. Thank you, Ma'am Claire. The price of greatness is responsibility. To accept the challenge, may we call on Ma'am Rose May Medina, PhD student.
In behalf of Pan Pacific Graduate School, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize and commend all the people behind this webinar, to our Professor, Vice Chancellor for Academics, Dr. Virgo C. Lopez, Director, my pleasure to deliver this part, which is accepting the challenge. This webinar far exceeded other seminars that I attended before. Lively, wonderful, insightful, well presented, and this is one of a kind. Our speaker's overview made me think, how would I apply this not only in our field, but also in the real life? But it was really life-changing. So again, in behalf of PhD students and the participants today, challenge is accepted. Once again, good morning.
Thank you, ma'am. May we also give a chance for our school class advisor and chancellor for academics, Dr. Virgo C. Lopez, for an inspirational message, sir.
Hi, everyone. I would like first to say thank you to everyone And of course, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our ever supportive Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Engelbert C. Pasag, to our speakers from the first to the last, to our students. My heart is full of gratitude, of course, because we expect blessings when you are grateful, that indeed this is the proof or evidence that indeed more than learning the theories, kailangan na isasabuhay po natin at nagagawa yung mga prinsipyo, paniniwala, at yung mga turo galing sa mga teoryang ito sa gawa. So after all, I think we're all leaders here. There are students who would be leaders. There are faculty members who would be school leaders as well. So the way to go is really to decide well and to act promptly doon sa mga bagay-bagay na aspeto na kailangan nating pagtuunan ng pansin para sa kabubuti ng karamihan. So sabi nga, ang puso ang nagsasabi, or it's really the one that making the difference when we are into the heart of service, when we are in the heart of really giving our all for the benefit of our students or other stakeholders, then we will never go wrong with the right intention and of course with the heart to be of service to everyone. Congratulations to my PhD education students. You are doing well, and to the participants coming from the different schools and institutions, thank you for attending. And really the challenge for all of us is to pay it forward from learning from this webinar, that is to act and really learn from all the things that the speakers have shared to everyone. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Sir Lopez, for being the best professor that we have had in the university. He is a leader who certainly knows exactly what innovative and strategic management is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dean of Pan Pacific University Graduate School, Dr. Engelbert C. Pasag. Sir?
Okay. Okay, another technical glitch. So, but anyway, it's actually between me and lunch, and I really wanted to keep this short, but today's session is very inspiring. I am actually in awe with all the things that we are doing here at the Pan Pacific University, simply because we are producing leaders. Challenge is accepted, Dr. Petrola, that we with Dr. Virgo should work together with the CHED regional office in coming up with a school or probably an institute, so that we can help more people. We can help mold the future of teacher education, especially in Region 1, and if not for the entire world. Because our graduate school, the Pan Pacific Graduate School, it has successfully evaded time and space, where we are actually enrolling, or we have students coming from other parts of the world. So with that, it brings me to the time when we started all of these webinars. So a lot of students came from different parts of the country. And Zamboanga Sibugay, for example, is the farthest part of the Philippines in which we have enrollees. And right now, most of our students are finishing the first batch, and the second batch of students are finishing their degree. And thus, we are very, very successful. But aside from that, the success of everything that we're doing is something that we should look forward when we look at the young people who are in turn becoming leaders. So, ang lagi kong sasabihin sa inyo is, tignan nyo later on yung mga estudyante when you turn their hearts into something bigger than them, bigger than their ego, bigger than the money that they expect that they will receive. If everything is turned into a vision for the country, then we are successful. Because saan ba naman at sinong magmamahal ng Pilipinas kundi tayo lang na Pilipino? And that's the reason why everyone here should accept the challenge of improving themselves, learning from one another through collaboration, and of course, having a great vision for our schools, and in turn for our students. So there are things that we have talked about. For example, curriculum. What makes a great curriculum? I think we can do that on paper, but then the execution follows. Next one is about the physical facilities. Yes, like in Pan Pacific University, we are continuously upgrading our facilities also so that they will respond to what we call now 21st century classroom, or addressing the 4.0 industrial revolution, wherein our students are, everywhere in the world. And right now, we have one of the best facilities because we are upgrading our internet connection in the campus. We are also upgrading our computer systems and all. But of course, these are all for our students who will be learning with and journeying with us for 4 years, for 2 years, and so on. Now, we have the next one that I would like to highlight is about the human resource. The human resource, or having the right human resource, is very, very big term for business people. Of course, kung ikaw ay nagtitinda ng French fries, for example, you have to train the right person and you have to give them the right facility so that you can produce the right or the best French fries. But the other thing is that they should have a heart for it. Training people and leading people is actually empty if the only one who saw the vision and believes in that vision is you alone. To inspire others to believe in that vision, to see what you have seen, is something that a leader or someone who has that leadership quality should possess. Hindi ko sinasabing very few lang ang may leadership skills. And that's the reason, actually, that the Pan Pacific Graduate School is here with journeying with Dr. Carl Balita and the rest of the management who are empowering up the Pan Pacific Grad School, because we want to build more leaders, or as we say, the Pan Pacific Graduate School is a school for leaders. And true enough, I can see that, for example, Mr. Saldo has been a recipient of a multi or of an award from the Department of Education, which is very, very much commendable. Now, in Pan Pacific University, it doesn't mean that we are the best if we get an award. Ang lagi kong sinasabi is, if you get an award, you have to inspire others, your neighbor, for example, or most especially your neighbor, so that your neighbor can also get an award. May I tell you also that may I also tell you everyone that it doesn't matter if you graduated from the best schools. It will not matter if you yourself are a graduate of master's or PhD. What matters is how you can inspire others to go to graduate school also and enroll. But let me include this one. You have to give the others a chance to grow also. And when everyone has grown, if everyone has received has an award, then hindi yung mga trophy at saka plaque ang nakikita natin doon o yung mga certificates. But it's how we build our community, it's how we build our country so that our country will become great. It may sound political, but I am not pertaining to anything with that, because sabi ko nga kanina from the very start, no one will love the Philippines, no one will love the country, no one will help improve this country except every Filipino. So we should inspire and aspire all together, inspire to become great, aspire also so that we will keep on improving ourselves. So cheers to all future leaders, and I'm very happy that we are doing this again. And tama nga sinabi nyo, um, thanks especially to all our faculty members, especially our newly appointed Vice Chancellor for Academics, Virgo Lopez, who has been very, very passionate about teaching what he knew from before and what he is continuously learning from his journey to different chapters in his life and sharing this to others. So thank you and congratulations, Dr. Virgo, and to your students who have been very, very supportive of all the activities that we are asking them to do. So cheers to everyone. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you po, Dr. Pasag, for your words of encouragement, and thank you for being our captain in our voyage. We will do our best to be inspiring and aspiring in the future. At this point, let us watch and be inspired with an audiovisual presentation on Dreams PCSD.
Miss Donna, before as we are waiting for the Dreams PCST, probably we can have first the announcements coming from Sir Romel for the certificate of participation. Sir
Okay,
Nathan, we prepare the Dreams PCST. Thank you.
All right. So for all the participants po who registered in the registration link, so you will be receiving the certificate of participation after the event. And for those who wish to receive the e-cert, you just have to register po in the link that we have provided in the chat box. So we will be chatting again the link po for registration. So yung registration po natin, yung request po natin for e-certificate will just have a small amount po for that one. And the proceed of this webinar will go po sa ating pong chosen beneficiary after the event. Okay? As our extension service po. All right? So let me read first the content or the citation of the certificate. Certificate of participation is given to the name of the participant. For participating in the Walk the Talk Translating Theories into Practice Towards a Future-Proof School-Based Management webinar held on November 5, 2022 via Zoom platform, given this 5th day of November 2022 at Pan Pacific University, Urdaneta City, Pangasinan, signed by Dr. Virgo C. Lopez, Vice Chancellor Academics, Dr. Carl E. Balita, Director Executive Education, and Dr. Engelbert C. Pasag, our Dean of the Graduate School. So you will be receiving an email of your e-certificate after the event. And after you answered po the evaluation link. So this is the evaluation link. So we will be chatting the link on the chat box, or you can actually make use of the QR code po for the evaluation link. Okay. That's it po, Ma'am Donna. Thank you so much.
Okay, once again, let us now watch an AVR presentation on Dreams PCSD.
Tomorrow is here. Behold the key to open the doors where dreams become reality. Be loyal daughters and sons, gratefully offer praise to one, to PCST with honor and pride. We sing of thee, our own faithful guide of science and technology to better lives here at home and o'er the sea. Let your fame be known, hail PCST. tomorrow is here. We hold the key, the future is ours, and dreams are now reality. Standing tall in your light where glory shines, with our heads held high, we sing of thee, ECST, sing praise to thee, PCST.
Soar High once again, Pan Pacific University. Again, thank you to our resources speakers who have shared substantial insights for today's webinar. Certainly, we will be doing our best to apply all of this in our institution. Bago po tayo umalis, magkakaroon po tayo ng photo opportunity with our resources speakers and our school administrators. So please turn on your cameras as we will have our documentation. And confidently, we say cheese. Isa pa po. Muli po sa lahat po ng mga lumahok, sa aming mga participants all the way from all the parts of the Philippines, maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you. Congratulations, PhD students.
Thank you po,
Bye,
sir.
everyone.
Thank you po sa lahat ng participants.